No, 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 no. Give it a shake. Open it really fast and lick the air. Just. Will it stick to your fork? No, it's not sticky. Nope. Ow, that was like a rock. I just hit myself in the head with a rock. Into the hole. Boink. Oh, there's fall damage. Everybody. Cut me off, sir. Sir, I need it. How do I take this guy down? Not like that. What if I jump on him? Can he stop, drop, and roll? Are you bleeding, sir? I'm here to help. Are you? And if you look at what AI is doing for, you know, for the people that are kind of losing their mind in psychosis, you end up going, okay, well, yeah, but those people are already kind of crazy, so they were already sensitive to it, and they, you know, it could have been. But then you don't realize how it's affecting you. It looks so gross. Why question? Because look at it. That's why. It looks like, dude. Tastes like chocolate pudding, though. Mmm, that was yummy. Fly again, birdie. Fly again. Fly. Nope. I was trying to help. Ah! 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 No! This place sucks. You know, if he'd have done it right, he wouldn't have had to die on the cross, or he would have had a lot more friends, or the Pharisees would have listened finally, or he would have had, you know, a better experience with his family, or a better experience with his hometown. Like, if Jesus would have done it right, then he would have had as many people mad at him, or many people misunderstood him. All he had to do was explain it this way or see it this way. That's not how it worked. The plan all along was a man of sorrows, while acquainted with grief, a man rejected. You know, that was the plan. And sometimes that is the plan. You're not. I was going to say you're not alone. In your loneliness, you are not alone, because other people are lonely, but then they're alone. So you are alone in your loneliness, and we are not alone in the fact that we all are lonely. Does that make sense? That totally made sense. No need to explain. Want to play? Let me have it. What's your problem? Why are you blinking? I'm not. Capitals strikingly attractive. I'm above average, but I'm not a head turner. There's no way I can respond to that. That is gonna get me in trouble. Nope. I have gone through the options. I've played through the situations and all the scenarios, and there's no way to respond to that in a way that doesn't get me in trouble somewhere. So I acknowledge it, and we're moving to the next comment. And I already shook it, and the lid was off. Oh man. Oh, that was super smart. I don't know if you guys just saw that, but I literally just poured lemonade all over myself. If you're driven by fear, oh, I can't do this and I can't do that and I can't do this and I can't do that, then your God's really small. Your God's really small. That's funny. Oh, ow.
My face.
She said ow and I said ow.
Nothing here.
I'm enjoying this. To do the underground loopy doop, so I could learn how to zip zap with the electric bibbly bobbles. The guy who did the sound knew what he was doing. That's all I'm saying. If he was trying to evoke emotion, he knows what he's doing. If this was a movie and they used that sound effect, I don't know if I'd be able to function. On the distance. No! Where did you come from? How did you come from? Parrot, no! Parrot! You were so young, so beautiful. Ah, they keep coming! Why are there monsters everywhere? Ah! Two little girls at the same time. You should hear it when my daughters sing together. It sounds like it's terrifying. It sounds like it could be good, but no, it's not. I swear they sing extra slow just to freak me out. Like, it's like the worst scene in the scary movies is playing out in my house right before me and with my daughters. And I'm supposed to be like, oh, that's nice. And I just want to be like, no, I cast thee out. That's the bathroom. Bro. Oh, he's I feel it, man. We've all been there.
Probably take your pants off. It would really help. Oh, fiber, my dude. Fiber and water. That's what you want. Fiber and water. Yeah.
Hey, you need some ether? Oh, it's a drug dealer. Let's go. Or opium. The first hit's free. No, thank you. I don't need opium or ether. I need a certificate. Are you some tower snoop? Just kidding. I don't have any drugs. Leave me alone. Nothing to see here. Does that work? Hey man, you need some drugs? No. Well, I don't have any anyway. Move along. Yeah, all right. We'll do. We need everybody needs someone like that, right? Because it's usually, oh, take care of yourself, and then you go destroy your mind, body, and soul, and you come back, oh, that's too bad. Go take care of yourself. You need that person who's like, you're not taking care of yourself, you big stupid tool. Go eat a vegetable, go for a walk. We need someone in our life like that. No. Give it a shake. Open it really fast and lick the air. Just. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the stream. Good to see you. Hello. If I hit this button, I can see chat, which seems super important this morning. Oh no, that was my PNG tuber. What am I doing? This one, not that one. Where is it? That one. Okay. Fired up the old PNG tuber so I could see chat. What the heck? Good to see you guys. Hello, Jones, and hello, Beardsley. Welcome. Hello, Uke. Hello, Supersonic. Supersonic's lurking these days. Must be a busy boy. I came up with a really good thing to do today for content creators. It's going to be super interesting, really challenging, and exactly where I'm at right now in my personal content creator walk and wild levels of confusion as to who I am, what I'm doing, and why I'm doing it. I think I haven't watched the video, but I watched a video about the topic that this video is doing a better version of, and it's something really interesting. So I'm looking forward to hanging out with ye old content creators and talking about just this thing. It's a challenge. It's going to be a challenge, and I'm being a little bit vague because I don't want to scare you off. But at the same time, it's going to be if you want to take content creation seriously, and you want it to be something that you are like that you want to grow, you want to connect with the community, all the rest of that stuff. It just feels like that the only way to do this is going to be through this method. This is the way it's got to be done. And ironically, it's one that they talked about 5 years ago. It's one they talked about 10 years ago, and it is perennially true. And even now, especially like the whole in the age of AI slop, in the age of massive, you know, shorts being the only thing anybody could watches, right? Like in that age, what does it mean? How do you build a community? How do you get an actual, like, well, you know, I guess for Christian content creators, it's not a fan base. I'm sorry, my jacket is sitting funny. I was watching my live stream back, and I noticed I just kept like twitching, and it's got my jacket driving me insane. I don't know what it's doing. Maybe it's static. So yeah, this is what we're going to be doing today. Hopefully that means you hopefully it's helpful to you. But before we get in there, how's your day? How was yesterday? Did you guys get a day off yesterday? We had family day. And so because it was after the weekend and blah blah blah, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna take the day off, gonna hang out. Ironically, we said this in the morning, hey, it's family day, we should do something. Cool, I gotta go do this, okay, let's take off, do your thing. And then like 9 hours, 10 hours later, you know, someone's like, you know, we forgot to hang out. We all did our thing. And I'm like, yeah, right. Yeah, what do you want to do? And so we ended up doing something we've been doing a lot lately, which is like online quizzes, just like YouTube quizzes. We started with one that was about art. Then we moved on to another one that was more general knowledge, which was a ton of fun. And then what was the last one? Something. Music. Oh yeah, finished the line from this song from 1985 to 2020 or something. And it's like, man, that was it was a lot of fun. And what's cool is that because, you know, like we try to get the swing of general knowledge so that everybody can kind of, you know, participate. But what's funny is that like years ago, you know, not that many years ago, my kids didn't know nothing. Just like general knowledge, like Trivial Pursuit and all that stuff with kids that are like 14, 15, 16 years old. Pointless, utterly pointless, because they don't know anything. And but now that they've, you know, done a little reading, done a little living, done a little life, done a little learning, there's some little bit of competition, which is nice. Plus, I learned that I stopped listening to music in like 2009, and apparently haven't heard anything new since. Because as soon as they passed 2010, I'm like, I've never heard that song in my life. I don't even know what you're talking. Like, what is this song? How did this song exist? Like, I've heard of the artist, maybe, but yeah, I am that old fuddy-duddy who's like, music was better in the past, and you know, like I'm still hip. Turns out I'm not at all, because all the music that's like within the last 15 years I haven't heard any of. Well, to be honest, I don't listen to a lot of music. Like if I listen to the radio, it'll either be the news or classic rock, or I will let my daughter pick, and she'll pick K-pop every time, or I'll let my son pick, and he's got like this alt kind of, you know, like Grimes, that kind of stuff. That's what he listens to. And so like it's not really my fault. I don't know where they get it. I think they listen to like the popular radio station now and again, but even still, it's just like incredible how little I knew and how little I was. It's bad. So anyway, I'm fine with that. It's all fine. That's fine. So what we're going to be doing, I don't want to get too far along here. Hello, Magic and Twilight. But I want to be able to kind of introduce the topic. I've got a skit, like a little skit to show you, and that'll introduce the topic, the concept. I'm stealing this all completely from Zach Busey, by the way. Zach Busey is tos.gg, which I strongly recommend everybody who's even has a glancing interest in content creation goes and signs up to that. He keeps track of stuff that you've never heard of across multiple platforms. He is a streamer, he's a YouTuber, he is a content creator. He's not huge either. Like he's not like 100 million people. He is like legitimately plugging away like one of us. He just happens to be plugging away and has a lot more brains than I do. And so I like watching him, and I like learning from him. He mentioned something called Own Your Audience, and so I'm like, he did it okay, like it was like a 5-minute clip where he's kind of talking around it, but then I'm like, there's got to be a better video on there about own your audience. And so I went and found it. It's long, like it's like 36 minutes long, but I'm like, this is something I need to learn. This is something everybody needs to learn. And I think it especially behooves Christian content creators, because we always talk about how we want to build communities. We want to bring people, you know, along, not only to help them get saved, not only because they, you know, they need our help or they need, you know, charity or something like that, but also because, you know, we want to build relationships that are more than surface level. Like, we don't just want fans, we don't just want followers, we don't just want views. We want to get to know people. Like, we want to really impact lives. And so how do you do that on a personal level in an age where nobody knows anything about anybody and nobody's following anybody? And, you know, like, we're going to see it in a quiz in a clip in a second, but how do you do that? And we're going to talk about it. And really, like, if you want the Coles notes, the quick one, like in one sentence, email list. Who knew? So I'm going to let me show you what we're talking about here. I'm going to do the, where should I do it? Probably here. Yeah, that'll do. Okay. Make them bigger. How do I full screen this? Why don't I know how to full screen? F11? That can't be right. Does it not have a full screen button? Are you kidding me right now? Bop, 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 bop. There, take that. Yeah, it worked. Okay. I think I need to reboot. This is a weird little setup. Can I share? What if I share? Share to, give me just copy link. What if I do that and then I do this? Will it give me all the stuff that I need? It will not. Weird. Okay. Well, here's the clip. Should be good enough.
Oh my god, I think that guy's famous.
Oh,
Back over there in the brown. Look.
who is he?
He makes like cooking videos. Yeah, what's his name?
You don't know his name?
Oh my god, oh my god.
How famous can he be if you don't know his name?
I see his videos all the time.
Check your following list.
Well, I don't follow him.
What? Why do you care if you don't even follow him?
Because I... Okay, hold on.
No one else is even looking at him. How famous can he be? Check your like videos.
I don't like videos.
What? You don't press like on any video?
I mean, yeah, I'll like some videos if it's like really good.
What are you, some kind of like critic? You think your likes are worth more than everyone else?
Do you think I should go over there?
And say what? Hey, I vaguely know your work. Hi, I'm a big fan. What's your name again?
Yeah, you're right. I'm gonna go over there.
No, that... Good luck.
Hi, sorry, I just wanted to say I like love your stuff.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, me and my friend, we were just talking and
Oh my God, your friend. I know him. Isn't he famous?
Kinda, he's a comedian.
That's right. Oh my God, I love his videos. Huge fan. Huge fan. What's his name again?
So that's the point. So the idea is that is the universe in which we live. That is the soup in which we swim. And it is true, right? Like, so if you, it's not like content creators are any better at this on the other side. Like, if you ask any given content creator, like, who's your favorite content creator, they'll probably be able to name, like, I'll be able to go, I really like Donkey, and I really like Game Ranks, and I really like, you know, like, you well, exactly, vaguely recognizable. Like, I know my few that I really like, but when it comes to like the shorts that go by, like if I'm sitting there scrolling shorts, and we talked about this over the last couple of weeks, you know, sort of my crack addiction to shorts, that I got to be so careful, because if I turn them on, I can't stop. I will see the same kind of content creator come up, and as the algorithm learns what I like, keep kind of feeding me the same stuff. And, you know, like, some of these are really intricate, like, you know, Rube Goldberg machines and like really like well shot skits, things like that. I'll see it, off it'll go, and it'll come back, and it'll like, she said, like, you know, great, I love it. I see him again. The algorithm feeds me again. Do I hit like on occasion? I've tried to do it more. I've tried to hit the like button more to say, not only to the algorithm that I like it, but also because I know for me as a content creator, it really helps. but then I I don't know who they are. I don't know who they are. No. And so even more, not only do I not know who they are, within 10 scrolls past, I probably can't remember what that video was about. Like it just kind of washes over and it's gone. But so the question is, not only for us as content creators, not only, living in that environment where that's how people consume content, how do we manage that? So we're going to watch a video called How Smart Creators Will Grow an Audience from Zero in 2025. Now, this is a year old, but the only thing that's really changed, hello LT, the only thing that's really changed is the AI slop, which just means everything got harder and grosser in shorts, right? But it's not different. I still think it's very applicable. We're gonna watch through this. I'm gonna eat breadsticks while we do it, and then we'll comment along the way. Yuke says, however, if anyone ever said, "Hi, I recognize you from the internet," unless you were a bad meme, you're going to be flattered. I've had that a few times. People coming, are you, so and so, and cool, yeah, that's really neat. Usually it's like I read your book, but it's not. I just watched your channel. Nobody around me watches my channel, not even my family. So, and they know who I am. Not that they care. Okay, let's I'm gonna flip over here again. I'm gonna push play again. Like I said, I haven't watched through this one. I watched a video about the topic. This is the best video on the topic by somebody who's a leading expert, and supposedly, and I went through the synopsis and went through the the AI summary and whatnot. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty much what we need. I probably a little longer than we need, but you know what, it'll give me more time to eat breadsticks. So let's give this a watch, and along the way, if you have something to say, or you want to comment, or you want to ask a question or pause or say that was a good point or whatever, please do. I'll be pausing along the way. We'll probably be doing this until 4 p.m. If it's a long enough video, I tend to squeeze as much out of it as I can. All right, here we go.
Follower count doesn't matter anymore, and there is a new way to build an audience. Well, it's not really a new way, but it's a way that smart people are building audiences. This is what intelligent creators are going to do in the future. So we're going to talk about the ins and outs of that throughout this video, but we really need to preface this with a part of my story first, and how in the past I absolutely hated social media. I didn't want to be a part of it at all, and now it's one of the most meaningful and fulfilling things in my life when most people still think it's toxic. And it was the key to my freedom in many aspects. Got me out of freelance work. It allowed me to do what I want full time. I got a lot of my time back. So let's just get into it. I started writing on social media because I wanted to do what I want. I feel like that's why most people are here watching this video, but writing wasn't my first attempt at freedom. And before then, I didn't realize that writing, the skill for English majors and academics and technical writers, was the ticket to doing what I wanted with my life. My first real job was as a web designer at a marketing agency for retailers. So think furniture or appliance retailers, and building e-commerce sites for them so people can go online, see their inventory, shop, buy. It was like plug and play. We just designed the sites for them and plugged it into our backend. That job as a web designer came after working at a print shop part-time while living with 7 other dudes in college in this frat house. We were living in the frat house because it had 6 rooms. We turned it into 7 somehow, and we just didn't want to pay that much for rent. We wanted to pay $250 to $400 each, depending on the room that we got, because we were broke college kids. And while living there, I did everything in my power to do what I want, to practice these creative skills that would eventually allow me to do my own thing. Ever since I was a kid, I'd always wanted to do something creative. So during my time in this house and prior, it wasn't just all in this 1 to 2 years that I lived in this house. It was all over the place, but I tried everything from photography to digital art to drop shipping stores to full-blown e-commerce stores, like selling minimalist leather wallets and blue light glasses for.
So I can really vibe with a lot of what he's saying because I've done all the same thing, right? I've written stuff. I've had blogs. I've had podcasts. I've had newsletters. I've had 2 different Etsy shops where I was selling selling 3D prints, and I was selling the
figurines, and I was selling, all kinds of stuff. I started up making dice, like polyhedral dice sets. Was making those, selling those. I've done what else have I done? Like obviously I was a pastor for a long time, so I had, the quote unquote real job. But then at the same time, all the way along there, I was also trying to do social media stuff, ineffectually, really, but as much as I could in the little time that I had. And and I've tried to do a bunch of different things, and this is actually where I'm at right now. Is I've tried to do a bunch of different things. I think I've done a few of them with a bit of skill. It's not like I'm completely inept when it comes to how to write or how to make a video or how to record a podcast or how to do a live stream, or I feel like I've got decent skills. I wouldn't say I'm great at anything. One of those jack of all trades, master of none situations. But I think I try my best. I've spread myself too thin many times, right? Trying to do it all, whether it be, trying to have the podcast, which we did at the same time as having the videos, which we did at the same time as we were doing the live stream, which we did at the same time teaching the class, which I did at the same time of writing things with a blog, which I did. And at the same time of doing, trying to plan events. It's I was doing all this stuff at the same time, and a lot of it was falling by the wayside. I couldn't do, I tried to get help with a lot of it. I need a video editor, sure, I'll help. And then they don't, try to get a podcast editor, finally get a video editor that, or not a podcast editor, and he's doing a great job. But then I'm trying to feed him the content and create stuff at the same time during the live stream, but also make the live stream. It's been a whole, plus, Discord, Patreon. Yeah. So all that at the same time, all in an attempt to do, to do something. And over the last 5 years, I have been pruning some, so trying and attempting and pruning the kind of things and trying to find out where I'm at. What should I do? What should I pour my time into? And I've been cutting a few things. We cut down the podcast. We're not doing that anymore. I've changed how my whole website even looks. I've changed it into a different kind of thing, different kind of format. I have pulled back on the class over the years. I have pulled out of. I don't have my own Discord anymore. I've changed to doing a YouTube series that I pre-write instead of doing trying to figure out shorts and videos and all that stuff from the stream. I've changed a bunch of stuff to try to make it better. And I had a conversation recently with someone who knows what they're doing and is a very cool person, long in the tooth and extremely intelligent, very, 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 very good person. And they were like, I think you have two main issues, and it was cutting. It ruined me I still am trying to recover from what he said. The two main issues. Number one, you're branded completely wrong. All the work that I'd done and all the rebrand that I just did and all the graphics that I've tried to do and all the ideas I've come up with and like all of that. It's wrong. Your username is wrong and your graphics are wrong and the name that you have, for your YouTube channel and the stuff it's all none of it says what you want to do, and none of it really connects to the things that you told me that you are into, or the things that you want, the people that you want to serve, which is ironic because, when I talk in the book about, really getting to know getting to know your audience, being able to really kind of laser focus on who they are. I thought I had, right? I really did. I thought I'd print, I just did a big rejig here, a few months ago to change it all to rethinking influence. And it's no, that was wrong. Your branding is bad. And two, you are doing the wrong things. He's like, the list of things that you do compared to the people that you say that you want to reach, you're not doing the right things. And so therefore you should cut this and consider cutting that. And do you really need this? And so in the last, less than a week, I've thought through literally everything. right? Like everything from, am I done with taco? Am I done with live streaming? Should I, like just cut out what needs to disappear so I can laser focus on the people that God has called me to serve, or that I believe that God has called me to serve. I wrote a whole thing, and I sent it to my pastor and pastors to talk about, because I believe it was, like pretty accurate to where I was at. Like, yeah, I had so many things going on. I actually texted somebody at one point, and I'm like, here's an idea that I have after another idea that I have, which is the changing of my idea that I had last week. And the person was just like, don't send me any more ideas. I'm done listening to your ideas. And it hit like a truck, because it like, well, it did, but it was also a sign that I was really spiraling. Like I was like, change this, move this, alter that, try this, what's better. And and in the meantime, last night, yesterday was brutal spiritually here at my house. Like it was really, really bad. There hasn't been this much anger and bad decisions and temptations and misery in my house across the board than there was yesterday for quite a long time. And so I sent it I knew it was spiritual. I felt this is a spiritual thing. This feels really weird, really aggressive, way more than it deserves. And so I sent a prayer request out to kind of the list of, my list, my people. Like, guys, there's something really amiss in my house. Things are bad in my head too. Like, I mean, I was tempted to quit. Like I was, getting close to thumb over text. Guys, I'm done streaming. I'm going to go work somewhere else. Goodbye. Like things were really bad in my head. I was getting cussed out by one of my kids. We had, the bunch of bad medical things, like just really bad. And then after I sent that text, it abated within moments, like literally moments. So I sent that text like, guys, I really need you to pray. And then within 10, 15 minutes, maybe, of that prayer, all of a sudden get text, apologies and hey, can we go hang out? And, like, can we come back together again? And let's do something for the evening. Like I think we were just inundated with this spiritual attack. And I felt this now for a long time, and increasingly so since I had that conversation with that guy, where I'm still kind of spun. Who am I? What am I doing? But all that to say, I feel this, right? I'm trying everything. I'm trying to do everything, not because I want to be successful, or not because I want to make money, not because I want to, work for myself. I don't care. I've worked for a lot of different places. It's a matter of where am I most obedient, right? Where am I most obedient? And what am I doing that is a distraction? What am I doing that I thought was a cool idea or was just my ego? Like, what is it? And so I'm processing through that. And so even starting that way is really, really connected to me, because I feel it. I don't know. Does anybody else have a sort of a similar thing where it's like you have tried a zillion things to discover who you are and what you're doing and what your content is, or what job you're supposed to have, or what school you're supposed to go to, and you just kind of spread yourself everywhere in an attempt to figure all that out, and then had to reel a bunch of stuff back in, or disappoint a bunch of people, or change some stuff, because as you were focusing you realized you've been choosing wrong stuff? Anybody else been through that? Let's keep watching.
Developers, because I was studying programming at the time, and I knew that they stared at screens all day, so I'm like, I should create some blue light glasses and sell it to them and market it to them specifically, because when you first get into marketing or online business, you're told pick a niche, get very specific about your customer avatar, and then create something specifically for them. So blue light glasses were being marketed to everyone. I wanted to market to developers, and I thought I could pull that off, but I couldn't, just because I was unskilled. And of course I did other things like freelance web development, freelance SEO. I tried pulling off this like drop servicing thing with a 2-hour agency. That's where I got the name for 2-Hour Writer. But in short, you pick a skill and then you create an offer, and then you attract clients. You focus on getting the clients, and you outsource everything to Fiverr. And of course, for obvious reasons, that didn't work. I tried doing like animated explainer videos as an agency. All of these failed, but
the obvious reason is because there's major inconsistency on Fiverr, right? It's, you never know what you're going to get. Like, for example, I tried to get videos done. You know that intro video that I just showed you where the XN is kind of spinning? That took 3 or 4 getting the content, sending it back, getting a refund because it was absolutely not what I asked for, absolutely wrong, really poor quality, until I got one that I thought was what I was paying for, what I actually asked for, what was actually good. Took 4 tries. So if you're like, I'm going to just give it to a guy on Fiverr and he's going to do a thing, then there's a chance it's going to come back and it's going to be crappy. And if you do get somebody who is good at their job consistently, you're going to pay for it. Because they deserve their money. Some people are still good at falsely. Yeah, exactly. Falsely selling themselves. Again, not that I'm going to get into a diatribe on that, but like a lot of Christian content creators struggling with the falsely selling themselves thing because they feel a sense of God's call and then they kind of jump in with both feet. But instead of jumping in with both feet to the service or to the learning or to the who can I partner with, they jump into, I want to be important. And so they start talking about themselves as president of this or as whatever. The guy I was talking to, he's like, I told him my story. I'm like, yeah, I started this whole thing 5 years ago, and I went from I don't have a job, I don't need a job, I'm not gonna get a job because God's calling me to this, to I probably should go get a job because it's insane for me to decide to go full time in a job I've never done before on a platform I've never done. It's just nuts. Nobody should do that. It's just not right. And so I went to look for a job and had a really miraculous, like literally Balaam's donkey moment where somebody was like, trust God, just trust God. And so I didn't get a job. I backed off of it all. And I'm like, okay. And God's been, faithfully taking care of me for about 5 years, almost 5 years. And he said to me, I only know 2 people who that has happened to, me and you. And he's like, but I've heard this from a lot of people. God told me to do this. God said to do it full time. And God said that I'm not supposed to have a job. And they went back to their work after 3 weeks. They went, they lasted a month. And then they're like, oh, this is hard. And then they went, then they go back to work. It is very exceedingly rare, right? And so I believe God has confirmed me being here. It's just I have tried a zillion things. So yeah, I get it. Yeah, totally. Falsely selling themselves.
As we know, failure is a very good thing. You don't learn anything from praise and success. That can actually make you go blind. You learn everything from negativity, feedback, and failure if you can not drown in it and you can pick apart and notice the signal in those things. Because again, most of the negative feedback is just people that are angry at you because your worldviews don't mesh, your goals don't align. The reason I got the web design job after all of those failures is because I was in my 5th year of university. I still had maybe 2 years left just because I switched majors so many different times. I went from business to marketing to graphic design to filmmaking. I spent a semester in like each of these things and I switched to these weird majors. Eventually I landed on coding. And then one thing that I realized here is I actually enjoyed coding so much.
Thank you. Yes, thank you for your support, Shadow. I really appreciate it. I'm working on it, man. It's hard. It's hard right now, man. Really hard these days because I don't know what I'm doing. We're racked with it's just so much going on in my head. Bivocational isn't necessarily easier because it's a constant tug of war. Oh, dude, yeah. But I'm not saying it's easier. I don't think either one is easier. It's hard. I think trying to do something brand new versus trying to, just be on both sides of the fence. Yeah, both are going to be really hard for sure. And thank you very much for the sub, Shadow. Much appreciated. None of us know what we're doing, but the Lord is faithful. There you go. Amen.
So that I was just learning in my free time. I'd go to the library after class and I'd learn on my own. And then I'd go home and I'd take tutorials, and I ended up learning the entire course curriculum that I was taking in college in like 2 to 3 weeks through self-study. I stopped going to classes and I still aced all the tests. So that showed me the power of self-education. If you actually have a goal and curiosity, you can learn so much more, so much faster than most people are. And that's how you get ahead of everyone else. The thing here is that once I got the job, I knew that the clock would start ticking down toward my demise, because getting a job was the bane of my existence. I was in my 5th year of college because I was trying to take out loans and push back how long I would have until I had to get the job, just so I could practice and try to make one of these businesses work. I was
Now, because not that he was lazy. He's clearly not lazy. He wanted to work for himself, and he just saw the idea of working under someone else or working with other people or working for someone else's vision would be stifling, right? And I can appreciate that. I really can. Like, it is a hard thing. Like, there's a big difference between me as pastor of churches that were established for 212 years versus me starting my own channel, starting Taco from scratch. They both have their own challenges, but like, I was pulling someone else's vision along. I was coming alongside where a bunch of problems were already settled, and without the power, the influence, or whatever, to do anything about them. And it's a very, handcuffing experience when you come along with another organization, especially if you are just born to freelance.
Frantic, like trying all of these different business models just for one to work before I had to get a job. Because once I get a job, I knew from just my prior observation and experience that it was a downhill battle from there. Responsibilities would start to stack up. I'd fall into the conventional life path. All of these things would happen to me that I didn't want in my life. But luckily, thanks to all the experimentation and curiosity and trying all of these different business models, I found my way. I spent most of my time at the job just procrastinating on my work, pushing that off until the last minute so I could focus on freelance web design, because I had learned so much that I knew I was on the verge of something working. And so freelance web design, I ended up making work pretty well after a few pivots. I started out just selling typical websites that worked. I landed some clients from referrals, and then I got more specific with the system that I was offering, similar to how I teach now, and started targeting someone more specific with a specific system based on the skills that I meshed together. But the thing here is that at this time, I was still working full-time as a freelancer. I still hated working on projects that aren't my own. So that's when I finally came around to social media, what we're talking about today. It was the key to my freedom. So after a few months of scrolling Twitter in early 2019, I realized something. People were just writing. No images, no designs, no time-consuming video editing, like sending text to a huge public group chat. People were talking about things I already knew. I often thought I could write that tweet. People were using their profiles as a way to attract clients. A few did so with web design, and it's like, hey, I could do that too. And finally, the people were actually cool. I felt like I was in a place that didn't have business speak or the professionalism I despised, but they were still cashing out big. And
let's go back for just a second. Because I want to Christianize this, I guess, a little bit. Right. So what he's talking about is he jumped on social media. What did he see? Right. What did he see on social media? People were just writing. Right. Which is an ironic thing, because we as on the outside here, and maybe it's you, because I don't see writing. I see artists all the time. I see people who are very skilled at music and skilled at art and skilled at video editing, or doing something insanely cool, or having some kind of really rad idea and filming it, or being super athletic. Like, I see the exceptional people who are super good at stuff. But he's got a point that overwhelmingly online, there are a lot of people who are just like, their main thing is they just say a thing. That's what they do. They throw out a tweet. They throw out like an Instagram with like a quote in it. They put out a blog, or that's what they do. Their main contribution to social media is text, and that is kind of true over still today, right? As much as we are AI slop video, as much as we are, in sort of the bot apocalypse of the internet speaking to each other. Did you hear recently that Meta actually decided they filed for a patent that would let them continue deceased people's content after they died, And their argument was that, you know, like it's really rough for people when their parents die or their friend dies and that person stops posting. So they want to create like an AI system that will mimic your friend and post on their behalf post-mortem. Like, it's bananas. So like it's going to get worse, and it is getting insane. But people are still, even today, in the realm of video, in the realm of audio, the core of it all, even the best YouTube videos are well written. The best content that you see is planned well in advance. Like, it's not just people doing stuff, live stuff. The writing still matters. If you watch some of your favorite comedians, right, they are written like to the microsecond. If you watch some of these great, like really good, I think of Drew Gooden, right? He writes every word. He knows exactly what sure, there's maybe a little bit of ad lib, but he plans, right? Like it just makes it better because he's writing. He's basically reading you something he wrote, but just doing it well. Someone got the live removed for breaking the YouTube community guideline, and it's not you, but someone did break. I believe it. Hey there, system. Yeah. People were talking about things I already knew. Austin thought I could write that tweet. Another thing. So this is one of the things that Christian content creators particularly struggle with is the idea of I don't know enough to be able to post, right? I don't know enough Bible. I don't know enough, history. I can't argue. I'm not good at apologetics. I'm not an expert at anything. I'm too young, too old, too whatever. And this here is that it's the things they're talking about things I already knew, as in the people that they're going to reach, the people that they're going to connect to are the people that are like them, that kind of know what they know or care about what they care about, right? Because I think everybody's an expert on something, right? Like everybody, like it's whatever they're interested in or whatever they're hyper focusing on or whatever they grew up with or whatever their thing is. They may not know a lot of general knowledge. They may not know a lot of like the other things, history or philosophy or whatever. But if you're like, how do you fix a car? What do you know about Yu-Gi-Oh? They can talk for a million years, right? And so the realization, one, people were just writing stuff. Second, people were just talking about things that they were interested in, right? They were talking about things they're interested in. Like, and as a content creator, that means when you plan your content, when you're looking for things that you want to do, you having the same realization, having a little bit of prep, not being ultra talented, but taking the time to learn how to write, to do good at something, whatever it is. Maybe you're good at video editing, maybe you are good at drawing, maybe you are good at writing, whatever. But I only have to do the one thing. I don't have to do everything. And I only have to do it about stuff that I know about. And I can bridge that into something else, right? People using their profiles as a way to attract clients. I can bridge what I already know and that one skill that I have into relationships, into things that I can bigger conversations, longer conversations with the community that I'm building around this one thing that I actually know. And the people are actually cool. Felt like I was in a place that didn't have business speaker professionalism I despised. They're still cashing out big. So I think that what that means is everybody was being the thing that attracted people was authenticity, which I think Christians have in spades. If you're a good, a real believer, how do I put this? Like if you have changed, if you are showing the fruit of the Spirit, you are the idea of being a fake person, the idea of being a liar, putting on airs or being afraid of what people might think and all that stuff. It's less important because you are servant-hearted and you're trying to be humble and you're trying to, you're not trying to be highfalutin. And so therefore your predisposition towards, speaking in colloquial language or like speaking like everybody else is enough. But I think that's a really big deal, that if you are a content creator and you're a Christian content creator, be able to go, hey, I have one skill and I have one really big interest. I think it's going to, I can use that to attract a community, and I can do it in a way that isn't hyper professional or business speak. I can do it in a way of being me. That's huge, because a lot of the mistakes that we make, and I'm talking about my own mistakes too, right? What are the things I'm good at? Well, like I said, jack of all trades. I can do a lot of stuff. Like, I'm capable of a lot of things. But how much of it should I do? right? The things that I already knew. Like, am I talking out of my butt? Am I trying to say too many things to too many people about too much thing? Trying to pick too many people to talk to? People who were using their profile as a way to attract clients, like people who were the communities that I'm trying to build. Is it one? Like, is it one kind of, or am I trying to build 3 communities at once? And am I trying to be more than I really am? Like, am I trying to be myself, or am I trying to be someone else? Like, I think all those are mistakes that content creators make, Christian content creators too. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he says after he realized this.
But they were still cashing out big. And that's when it clicked for me. It's like, wait, these people aren't sending cold emails. These people aren't doing omni-channel outreach with LinkedIn and all these other things that I grew to despise with freelancing that just took up so much time. And it's like, I don't want to spend 2, 3, 4 hours a day doing that meaningless shit. And at this point in time, I was young. I wasn't making that much money. I couldn't outsource it to a team. I didn't want a team. I wanted one thing. I knew it was possible with the internet. So the thing with people on Twitter is that they were just building an audience. It's like, that's when it all clicked. Oh my God, people can actually attract a following and land clients or have customers from the audience that they attract. And I'm like, holy crap.
And again, to say, you as a content creator, like, what am I going to make? What kind of content should I create? This is why it makes me itchy whenever I see a content creator that's just like, what are you going to do? Well, I'm going to go onto X platform and just be nice and do what everybody else is doing, right? I'm going to go on Twitch and I'm going to play video games. I'm going to go onto YouTube and I'm going to, like, make videos. So what are they about? I don't know, whatever. I'm going to, I'm going to try to post inspirational shorts or whatever. Like, I'm just trying to do what other people are doing. And it's like, you realize, and this is his realization, the mind-blowing moment was, I can do things I'm interested in and build a community of people that are also interested in that, and have a lot more interest and a lot more passion, a lot more excitement for creating that content, and it can actually go somewhere, right? And like, if you are creating content and you are doing content you don't necessarily like, that you are kind of shoehorning yourself into because you think that's what you're supposed to do, it's hard to give yourself permission to go, I'm not going to do that. Like, it's really hard. Like, I just had to do it here last week. I had to simply say to the community, I'm not going to play Minecraft anymore. Right? Minecraft was a big part of I felt a lot of pressure all the time to play Minecraft, to have a Minecraft server, to make Taco a Minecraft thing, to have me be on Minecraft Mondays so that I'm on there, so to be on there and building and what, like, it's a lot of pressure. And I found that, like, as with any game, with anything, I'd be in fits and starts, and I'd be interested in one time, then I wouldn't want to play it anymore. And I found that it was not fun. I didn't want to do it anymore, but I kept doing it. I kept making myself do it until I just couldn't anymore. And so I had to say to the community, like, I don't want to play Minecraft anymore. I'm going to pull back, right? I'm going to try doing things differently and not trying to please that group that wants me to play Minecraft. And they're pretty serious. Like, I got some disappointed notes. Oh, that's too, that sucks. But I had to do it because it was something that I didn't want to do. Not that all your job is always going to be stuff you want to do, but when you're in this kind of area, you're going to make a lot better. You're going to make a lot better content if you're interested in it. That's for sure. Minecraft is a good example of not jumping on bandwagons and listening to what people say what they like. People said they wanted it, but they didn't join in. Well, that's the thing. Like, how many times you got to fail before you? Exactly. Although I did have a few people that were on there and interested, but it's like, and then the argument, well, if you were on there more than other people would have, yeah, you're right. But I think anybody, his point of going, you can, well, maybe I'm making a point off of his point, and that is, whatever you're interested in, if you're passionate about it, you're interested in it, and you are making content that is, valuable to you because you think it's cool, chances are there are going to be people out there that think that too. And if you're consistent in it, chances are you build a community about anything. Like, you're like, wow, there's a whole community of people. It's always surprising. You go to like Comic-Con or you go to, whatever, and you go around the corner and there's an artist sitting there in a booth that you've never heard of, that you've never seen. You have no idea who this person is, that they even existed. You look at their art and you're like, who likes your stuff? and they've got a line. You know, and people are like, oh wow, it's so cool, and you were looking at it, you're like, I don't see any value in that. It is like a weird picture of some kind of Pokemon thing. I don't know what's going on there. I don't understand. Like, so you would look at that cold and go, that is valueless, nobody's going to want that. And yet you go to the fan meet and suddenly there's a line of people who want that. They're selling it. They're there enough that they're able to sell to make it worth being there and travel around. Like, it is amazing to consider that you don't have to be, you know, Minecraft, Fortnite, funny guy, inspirational quote person. You can bridge the content that you care about, that you want, that you're good at, that you like, into something that turns into a digital ministry. It really can be done.
All of these musicians chasing record labels and other things aren't paying attention to the opportunity right under their nose. It's like you can just build an audience based around your interests, and then your music becomes your product, and that's how you promote it. The same thing goes for writers or authors. If you want to sell a book, you don't have to go to a big publisher anymore. You just build your own audience. The same thing goes with any kind of independent work you want to do. You build an audience around you. The thing here is that building an audience isn't...
So let me just pause there for a second, because I think one of the things that Christian content are going to rankle about is to build it around you. I don't want it to be about me. I want it to be about God. Don't want it to be about me. I want it to be about the community. I don't want it to be about me. I want to serve them. I'm not supposed to serve people, you know, like I'm supposed to, you know, hide and not serve. There is, in a sense, yes. I mean, you're talking to the guy who used XtianNinja because, you know, Matthew 6 impacted me so much, I adopted it as my name. The idea of serving where nobody sees, giving where nobody sees, praying where nobody sees. And that's a big deal in my life. And yet at the same time, I'm plastering my face on things and I'm trying to grow people. So the way I reconciled this is not that people are coming to see me, but they value what they see me doing in the work that I am doing for the kingdom. Right? I'm a conduit of the work, right? The reason that they come to XtianNinja stuff, or the reason that they read the book, or the reason that they go to the channel, the reason they do anything, is because they look at me and they go, that teaches me how to serve God more. That teaches me how to be a better person, or that shows me how I can learn more about God, right? It's not, I'm just the conduit. And the fact that my face is on it, or the fact that people get to know me, or the fact that they want to, you know, follow me, isn't me. It is just the thing that God has created me to be, to offer. I think in the Paul, you know, follow me as I follow Christ, isn't an arrogant thing to say. And it's not even saying he's perfect. He's just saying, listen, in the ways that you've seen me work, and the ways that you've seen me live, and the ways that I'm trying, you know, like I'm further ahead than you, so it's okay for you to be like, yeah, you know, what would Paul do in this situation? Which is different, because in a similar, you know, to the Corinthians, he's like, don't have celebrities, right? You know, it's not about Apollos, it's not about Paul, it's not about Peter, you know, like you shouldn't have a favorite and all of a sudden split over that, because they were idolatry, literally idolizing people, turning them into idols, and then dividing over them. That's not the point, right? People see your good works to the glory of the Father, yeah, but they can still see you as a content creator and appreciate you and want to follow you and subscribe to you, and, you know, like whatever, as a level of appreciation for the service you're providing. That's why I think that if you're not providing a service, you're not providing anything of value, chances are that's why you feel so yucky about what you're doing, because you're trying to gather an audience for no purpose. You're trying to create content that goes nowhere. You're trying to build a platform that contains only you. And it's not until you discover the why you want to build a platform, where you want to take people and what you want to do with them, that it starts to actually click, and you're able to kind of go, oh, okay, you know, this is why I'm doing it. Just having the platform, just having the content isn't enough. You have to have the reason why.
People don't realize it's a skill. It's something that you can learn. It's something that you can study and practice and get better at. It's not something you just get on the social media and think, oh, these people are just catching on to their algorithm, they're all lucky. You don't understand it because you haven't studied it. You haven't practiced it. You don't know that it's a skill, just like programming or web design or anything else. Growing on social media, attracting attention to you, marketing is a skill. So this is when I realized that writing, of all things, something I never thought I'd become, a writer, was the key to my success. Because on social media, what do? You write. Even if you don't think you write, you're writing. When you're outlining YouTube scripts, it's writing. When you're writing on Twitter and not having to show your face, it's writing. When you cross-post those to Instagram, like a lot of people do, that's still writing. You're just putting it in image format. Real scripts, TikTok scripts, you write the script beforehand so you can actually articulate your thoughts, and you're not going into the video blindly and wondering like why you're not a good speaker. It's because you didn't write it out first. You're a writer. This is everything that we're going to teach in the Writers Bootcamp that starts very soon. Enrollment closes very soon, depending on when this video goes out. But I teach
prep, dude. That's just prep, man. And we were talking about that in class too. The idea of prep and just walking in blind is gonna melt your brain. You can't do it. You can't have excellence if you don't have prep. You can't have excellence if you don't learn. You can't have excellence if you're not studying. You can't have excellence if you're, and people will see through it quick. They'll come and be attracted to you even if you have good instincts, and if you are funny, or if you are, you're really good on the fly kind of thing. They are going to connect to you in a way, but then you're going to run out of material real quick, because you're going to turn into a one-trick pony, because you're not adding to yourself more valuable things. You're not practicing, you're not studying. You have to. Well, but I only do play video games. Yes, but you have to practice and study. If you're taking it seriously, what is the community? How do I use Discord? What's happening right now in the world? How do I market? Can I get better at the editing the videos and whatever? Like, you have to be studying. Otherwise, it's not gonna go well. And I think too many Christians are at the point where they say things like, like if God wants us to grow, he'll grow it, and I don't have to put a lot of effort in, or because I don't have time, or because I'm XYZ or whatever. If God, I'm doing the best I can, but God's going to have to grow it. And you're not really doing the best you can. You're doing the minimum, and then trying to, keep all your other interests, and keep all your other sins, and keep all your other problems, keep all your other things that you want to do. And you're not really buying in. I don't think you can do that. I just don't think there's a way to do it. And again, I'm talking to people who want to take it seriously. If you're just like, on Tuesdays I stream because it's fun, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to people who are like, I want to make a connection to people. I want to, help a group that I connect with. Like, I was a child of an alcoholic. I want to talk to people like that. I want to talk to people who are lonely. I want to talk to people who have hopelessness. I want to talk to people who are, who are involved in this game, but it's so toxic and gross and salty. I don't want them to be that. I want to be available. Like, if you have a purpose, a reason for being, that's who I'm talking to. God's in charge of growing it, but we need to work as unto the Lord, to work as much excellence as we can muster. Yeah, it is God's, he gives the increase. That is true. But you'll never find a pastor, a missionary, a singer, an artist of any caliber that God is using for any reason who isn't working. Right? They're working. They may make it look natural, but they're working. Right? One of the criticisms I had for the guy that was like, you need to do this or that or that, whatever thing. He was super nice. I'm painting him as like he was being mean. He was not. He was being very nice. I'm like, when, man? Like I wake up, I do family, I come into my office, I stay here until it's supper time. And he's like, well, you got to also do. And I'm like, when? Like, I didn't say that to him. Because he was being nice, and I'm like, okay, I'm not going to argue with him. But like, I do a lot of work. But the answer is, I'm doing a lot of the wrong things. And so therefore, that needs to, I just need to do something that I've known I've needed to do for about 4 years now, and have decided, and just never did. But it's going to be coming.
To my entire content ecosystem. I help you build it out. That goes from writing posts to threads to newsletters, then turning the posts into all platform posts and real short scripts, if that's what you want to do, turning the newsletter or thread into YouTube video scripts or solo podcast scripts. So it's this entire You do all content with just writing for 1 to 2 hours a day. And this is the first time that I actually am teaching part of my YouTube strategy.
Yeah, that is the thing that's one of the things I've known I've had to do. But I have been trying to be all things to all people and trying to do stuff that you know, I thought would be cool, I thought it'd be fun, I thought it was a good idea, I thought that's what God wanted me to do, or thought that the community needed, or thought that I could have fun with. And that whole, you know, like come up with an idea and then use it, not my forte. My forte has never been to grab one idea and just like use that idea and squeeze every drop out of it. My idea is, here's an idea, big project, here's an idea, project, here's an idea, project. And they exist sort of, they could have been something, but I never let them be something because I'm busy doing the next thing, right? It's a mistake that I've made that I will be rectifying soon.
As a part of that. Link is in the description to that, but we'll get into the importance of all of this later in the video. We need to talk about the future of audience building because social media has switched to an interest graph, right? Twitter and other things, they used to be chronological based on who you follow. Those are the posts that you would be shown. But now interest graph, TikTok, Instagram Reels, other things have gained popularity, even YouTube algorithm. And now Twitter or X, the For You page has changed everything because now what you see are the things that you share and engage with more often, or the things that you give more attention. So this is,
and I think one of the big shifts implicitly in that is they used to say, you know, like Twitter is for people who want to tweet and to connect with each other, right? YouTube is for people who want to have a channel, who want to share videos. We're a conveyance for that person. In other words, it was creator focused, right? This is about the people who want to send a message. This is about the people who want to make the video. This is about the people who want to create the podcast. This is about the people who want to. But now the platform is about the platform, right? They do what is in the interest of them. YouTube wants people to be on YouTube. They do not care about the content creator. They don't. They care about how they can maximize people being on their app. Same with TikTok. They do not care who the content creator is. It could be garbage. It could be trash. It can be addictive. It can be gossip. It can be lies. It can be miserable, or it can be great. And it does not matter so long as you stay on the platform. They do not care about the content creator, right? Same with X. X wants you to be on X. They're doing everything they can to be on X. You know, like, here's the list of people you might want to follow. Here's a bunch of news that you didn't even know was happening. Here's some hashtags that try to click on those. Here's a freaking AI girlfriend so that you can, you know, like have this little private conversation with a bouncy blonde that has no purpose on Twitter except the fact that they want engagement. And they don't want you to leave. That's a big difference. Meaning they are no longer a conveyance of content creator to community. They are using content creators so that they keep people on the platform. I think the only difference is really Twitch. Twitch, the way that it's set up, as much as we complain, you know what I mean? As much as we complain about Twitch being hard to grow on, right? Like, there's no discovery because it's what they call the Kingmaker system, which is that goes by how many people you have to zero. There is some, you know, recommended for you. You can do kind of that. I don't know how that works because, you know, tags. I don't know. There's some kind of weird discovery thing on the recommended, but it's still people that you follow. Regardless, it still feels like Twitch is trying to, Twitch is still the place where communities are connecting to the creator, and Twitch sees themselves as a conveyance of that. They're trying to get out of it. That's why they're trying to be like, well, what if we can become TikTok and do shorts? You know, what if we can create something that people want to stay on the app so we can sell them ads? What if we, you know, how can we keep them on, you know, like they're trying because they want money and they're seeing it work, but Twitch inherently isn't built that way. And so I think it might be the last bastion. I can't think of anywhere else that also has, like, even Facebook. Facebook used to be, hello, Jocelyn. That Facebook used to be, that's where I go to see my friends. That's where I go to see my family. It's where I go see extended family. What's going on? No longer, right? Those are buried. They're gone. Like, you don't even see the people you follow. You see news agencies and everything else, right? It's not about the creator anymore.
It's a blessing and curse. It's a blessing because follower count doesn't really matter anymore. You can post something, and if it's good, and if you actually have the skill of content writing and engagement and social media, like we talked about earlier, you know how to make it work, then you can consistently go viral.
What's going on, Jocelyn?
Of course, that's not what we want to bank on, as we'll talk about, but it's possible. Your follower count doesn't really matter because now you can write a viral post, have it go viral, and then funnel that traffic to an email list. Before we go further, I want to share a quote that Naval posted recently because
what's going on in the hospital?
it will frame a lot. Shorts, reels, and tweets are naturally shallow because there's no time to go deep. That's important because if you want to survive as a creator going into the future, then all of these short form platforms, they're not going to be as relevant as you think they are in the future, and you're not going to get all the results that you want out of them. Banking.
That is dead on true, right? So your tweet will disappear, your short will disappear. Like, when it'll go up in the algorithm, even if it blows up, it's gone in days. Nobody remembers it. It's moved on. People aren't going to search it. They're not going to go find it. Maybe if it's like content, it has really good tags and it actually has something to learn, maybe. But like, if it's just gone, the things that they're going to go see is your other content, is your website, is your email list, is your blog, is your, you know, your podcast, your long form video, right? Jocelyn fell and broke something on. Okay, can I? Yeah, let me pray for Jocelyn on YouTube, real quick. Lord, thank you for today, and thank you for walking with us everywhere we go. I pray for Jocelyn, who is in the hospital with a broken something, that you would help it heal well, that you'd give her the doctors that know more, and that you would be with her, surround her with family and friends to be able to take care of her. And as she recovers, make it so that this time that she's gone through a little bit of miserable stuff, teaches her something that she can use to serve others. Amen.
On YouTube advertisements to pay you, or now X advertisements, like the payouts for creators that have been increasing, that's not a good way to control your income. You need a way to consistently sell products and services that help other people and that you can charge more for. I can make like $300 a week or a month on Instagram Reels. I can make like 1,000 here and there on Twitter. I can make 10,000 here and there on YouTube. Now that's life-changing money for a lot of people, but with the same amount of traffic, me creating the same exact videos, I can make 3 to 4 million a year selling my own products or services. The other point here with tweets, shorts, reels being
let's just pause on that to talk about you broke your leg. Oh, that's too bad. I hope you feel better. I know that kind of sucks. Yeah, like if you listen to what he's saying, you know, like make 1 million, make 1,000, whatever. Just instead of hearing numbers, hear reach, right? I can reach communities that care about my stuff and that I'm actually having an impact on, right? Don't listen to money. Hear people that I'm actually connecting to in a meaningful way. So let me back up just real quick to hear what he said. And instead of hearing money, hear communities of people.
With the same amount of traffic, me creating the same exact videos, I can make 3 to 4 million a year selling my own products or services.
Right. So the in-between stuff, the stuff that you are doing that isn't the short, isn't the podcast, right? Or isn't the art. That's the thing that's going to connect to people a lot more. That's the point. For it could be your, pardon me, could be your Discord, right? Could be your Discord where you, that's where your main community stuff's happening. My Discord blew up to 10,000 people, to 1 million people, to 3 million people. And why? Because they found value over there that was beyond just seeing my my stuff. In the same way, it's like I was able to create a tool or a Devo or create a community or a gaming, whatever. That was able to get bigger because people found it. So don't hear money, hear reach, and hear lives you were able to change.
The other point here with tweets, shorts, reels being shallow is that to stay relevant on social media, you can't go as deep as you used to. You have to stay rather shallow. And this isn't a bad thing because you're forced to meet people where they are, beginner level, and actually change their lives to the point of understanding your depth. If you understand the stages of psychological development or ego development, you understand that people are operating at different stages of those development, and most people are lower on those stages, and those are the ones on social media not really focused on a goal. They're very distracted. And so your job, if you're trying to raise consciousness or you're trying to help people develop towards what they're meant to do, then you're going to have to start rather shallow. This is what a lot of the spirituality people get mixed up, is they're trying to target people in this unitive stage or even this transcendent stage, and they don't realize that that's like 1% of the population. You can still
That is 1,000% true. So I learned this way early in my career. I walked into a church. My first church was German immigrants who were Baptist and had been in that church for 45, 50, 60 years, right? Listening to sermons, reading the Bible, singing the songs for half a century, okay? And I would present a piece of theology, basic theology. And I would hear, I've never heard that before, right? And it would be like systematic, fundamental stuff, just about how people are saved. What is sin? Something about God, like how the Holy Spirit works, the community, the way that the temple works, something. The connection between, the trees in the Bible, what does that mean? And it's like, there's no chance that your pastors over the last 50 years haven't mentioned this, it came up, I promise. But I had to learn that the baseline of people's knowledge about the Bible is like 0%. When I first started, my assumption was I can start with, basically these people know God, they know Jesus, they know the Bible, so I can tell them some of the more the deeper stuff, some of the bigger stuff. And regardless, it was something that they kept saying they didn't, they didn't. I'd go to the next, went to the next church, and the same thing, same church, next church, same thing. And so I wrote a book called it The Foundations, right? The Foundations. Okay, there you go. And what it is, so this actually started as a sermon series. It started as a 6-week sermon series. That was the plan. Just the basic, I was going to go talk about the basics of no, back up. I was doing a sermon series on what is the church, right? Because we were talking about membership. We were talking about, sort of life, as what is that, what is, and what's a good church? And I'm like, well, in order to have a good church, you need to understand, kind of what a good Christian is. You need to understand what how you get saved. You gotta understand what sin, and so I backed it up. And I kept backing it up until I thought I'd reach bedrock, the zeroest point, that if you've never heard of God before, like you could start here, and ended up being the mission. And it was like 26 weeks. So I started with a 6-week thing on, the church. And in order to back it up to where I thought was the beginning, I had to back it up 20 more steps. Okay. And to all that to say, for him, he's talking about, let me hear it again, just because my brain is mush.
People in this unitive stage or even this transcendent stage, and they don't realize that that's like 1% of the population.
Yeah. So that's the point, is that I needed to learn that most people need to start at the big base beginning, which is actually one of the mistakes that Taco fixes in the other, like that we covered, that the other ones don't. Like if you go to any content creator group, if you go to any content creator training, they're going to tell you about tech, they're going to tell you tips and tricks, they're going to tell you about how to maximize your reach on TikTok. They're going to tell you how to use hashtags. They're going to tell you about how to know your one, how to craft an audience, all that stuff. Taco starts with, why are you doing this in the first place? Why are you even turning on the computer? Right? Because I believe strongly that you need to go all the way to the beginning before you figure out the rest. There'll be a lot of people on there they'll learn all the tips and tricks, and they'll go through all the stuff that is for them, like they're trying to grow, they're trying to get bigger, they're trying to serve God, they're trying to do that stuff. And they will, and then later they'll be like, I've lost myself. Why did I build all this? What was I trying to do? Now that I've got this, what do I do with it? And that's why I don't want anybody to start there. I want them to start with, who am I? What has God made me to be? What is the message that I have? How can I bridge to a community? Let's start there. That's nobody else is doing that I know of. Nobody. The underpinnings of the baseline concept of, why are you doing Christian content creation?
And still talk about your interests, but you have to frame them for the people lower and raise them up the ladder to where you are. So people think that writing clickbait hooks and other things are all bad, which that just isn't the case. One stock can be down while the index fund is up. It's not only one thing that makes something bad. If the hook is rather shallow and clickbaity, but the entire content of the video expands someone's mind and takes them beyond that, then I would say the overarching narrative of that specific thing that you're trying to label as good or bad is good. Now, the last thing here before we move on is that if you want to build and keep your audience, newsletters are more important than ever. So,
does anybody have their mind blown by that sentence? Newsletters, right? Because newsletters is like, that's what Paul was writing. Like the idea of, here's where I am, and here's what's going on, and here's the insights that I'm seeing, and things like that. Like, it's like the fact that a newsletter, an email list, like that kind of stuff is important. I remember hearing this exactly, very boomery, exactly. I would dismiss this outright. So I heard this 5 years ago when I started. You have to have a newsletter. You have to have a newsletter. You have to have, and I thought, why? Like, who's going to sign up for more spam? Who's going to sign up for more, more of that? They want to come for a video. They want to come, for the podcast. They want to come for the content. That's what they want. They don't want like that. Nobody's reading emails. Who even reads email anymore? And yet I've heard it so consistently over the last while that you can't get away from it. You just can't get away from it. So here, this is where the meat. That was a lot of preface, but this is kind of where the meat of the whole thing is going to be. Play with the idea of a newsletter seems like a good reference to look back on how the channel has grown over time. Yeah, partly. I never do that. I looking back is something I'm terrible at. I go this way. Hey, creepy. Good to see you.
Social media becomes a first layer for followers to be introduced to you, not a place to be nurtured or educated. Again, this is mostly. So if follower count doesn't really matter anymore and anyone can go viral, what do we do? I'm going to read a tweet by Alex Lieberman because I feel like it frames things pretty well. I'm long-term bullish on newsletters. Owned audience is more important than ever before as social algos switch to interest graph. Podcasts is just as crowded as email, and audience growth is way harder. The unit economics are beautiful at scale, 80% plus margins. There are tons of new newsletters, but most of them are shit. Care more about short-term monetization versus long-term reader loyalty. What have I been talking about for the past 2 to 3 years in my videos? There's a group of people that...
I don't know, I just discovered you.
Care
for Christian content creators, right? The owned audience, you might rankle at that, the idea of owned audience, but just say the community that connects to you most, right? The ones that when you show up, they show up. Those people, the real ones, the hardcores, right? The ones who show up. You all know who they are. Podcast is crowded. Yes, everything's crowded. You know what I mean? Like YouTube is crowded and TikTok is crowded and everything's crowded. There's so much. And so growth there, especially podcast, because you're asking for an hour of their time. half an hour, whatever your podcast length is, you're asking for that time and you haven't earned the right to ask for that time. Can you imagine a stranger walking up to you and going, "Hi, can I have 2 hours of your time?" You're going to be like, "For what?" Like I have things to do. That's all filled. All my time is filled. For me to give it to you is a big investment. And I don't know you. You haven't earned it. So how do you earn the right? Well, you earn the right with your other content. You earn the right with your previous relationship, right? If someone, you meet them at church and then you have, or somewhere else in social, and you have coffee for a minute, or you wave, and then you have a couple conversations standing in the foyer, and then when they come up to you and they go, "Hey, can I have 2 hours of your time?" You can go, "Oh, well, at least I know you, sure. I guess I can give you a try." They turn into a psychopath or trying to sell you something. You're like, "Okay, then no," but at least you were willing to try because of the previous relationship. This here, it's like, well, I hope they find my podcast. Why would they find your podcast? Why would they trust you with their time? Have you earned it? Actually, old marketing advice is easier to keep a customer than gain a new one. Yes. Newsletter. Yes. Keep a customer than gain a new one. You're right. We're walking back to my apartment from my garage. All right, rock and roll, man. Hello, Prince Theseus. You're just in time for all sorts of things. There are tons of newsletters, but most of them are poop. They care more about short-term monetization than long-term reader loyalty. So I would say that for us as Christian content creators, we look at this and we say they care more about trying to go viral or trying to gain attention or try to be cool or try to, whatever, than sharing valuable things, prepped things that really speak to the community. I know I struggle with this because I'm like, what do I think would, connect to the algorithm to grow, instead of what do I think the people who I'm trying to serve need most? I really do struggle with that. It's because I'm always trying to back and forth on who am I creating for? For me? Is it for the algorithm? Is it for new people? Is it for old people? Is it for discovery? Is it for the people who, like the people who currently care about what I say? Like, who am I creating this for? It's a lot. But if you, as a content creator, right, I will say I want to build an audience that actually shows up. I need to earn their time in order to do that. The people actually, if they do sign up for the newsletter, they'll actually read it. And if my newsletters are valuable, worthy, helpful, interesting, then there'll be people who actually care and they'll come back, right? They'll read that and they'll tell others to go read it. Hey, Raphael.
More about short-term monetization versus long-term reader loyalty. What have I been talking about for the past 2 to 3 years in my videos? There's a group of people that get great success when they learn from me about writing and newsletters and other things like that. They really enjoy it because it allows them to express their interests. And then there's a other more direct response marketing crowd that absolutely freaking hates that I write super long newsletters. It's actually kind of funny to see them whine online occasionally, but the thing here is they're sending emails out every day. It's very short term, very shallow. They're not really helping anyone. See my last video on the death of the personal brand, where they are the definition of like the cliche personal brand, where they aren't focused on audience. They don't care. As long as you join their email list and you get funneled into their product and they make $50 off of you, they're good to go. That's it. So they're incentivized to focus on these very, very shallow topics that target and potentially exploit problems in your life that don't really need to be solved just yet. Or
it's super convicting, because if you consider the content that you're sharing, like the devos that you're writing, or the podcasts that you're making, or the title of your videos, or the why you do what you do's, if the error that I make often is that, what's the short-term issues that people have that I think, is going to catch some folks, versus what are the universal issues that people are really struggling with, that are a deeper topic. That I did that for 20 years, right? Like preaching is that you fight between, hey, there are new people here that don't know God at all. They're still newbies, or they don't understand the foundations. And there's people here that are going through really serious stuff. And there's people here that want, some meat. They can't do all that in one message. You just can't. You need to break it up over different things. Like, come to Bible study if you want to go deep stuff. come to counseling if you got major issues. You know, come hang out with at the men's group if you want to get to know some friends. Like we have to spread this out. You can't do it in one message. It's impossible. But you need somewhere that people are able to go to meet that felt need, that really deep stuff that everybody goes through. That's why I wrote books.
They're solving the wrong problems. They're solving the problems that are going to squeeze the most money out of you as possible, rather than the problems that they deem important or the problems that they value, but they don't have very many values. So for trust, authority, and leverage, long form matters more. For traffic, virality, and attention, short form matters more. The point is that both matter. If you rely on one, you limit your long-term success. Yes, you can talk about shallow topics on social media all day and make some quick cash, but you aren't building something that will last years from now, both in terms of digital and mental real estate. If you don't write long form, not only will you be forgotten in people's minds, but your business can be shut down by social platforms at the snap of a finger. If you don't write short, you don't build your audience. If you don't write long, you don't keep your audience.
That's for us, right? Forge says, sorry if you're like way past the newsletter stuff now, but I want to mention something because I think you made a really good point and it made me think about it. Okay, go ahead. For us, consider different videos, right? If you don't do short videos, as in like TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, that's where you're not going to find discovery, right? If you don't have long form or podcast or live stream, or like something that is, say, if you're an artist, the comic that you're making or the long-term story you're telling or whatever it is, you don't have the thing that they're going to go see to be like, well, this is why I follow, because this reason, they're not going to stick around. And his point about, all of a sudden TikTok's gone could be a thing. All of a sudden YouTube changes, shorts are dumb, and they just delete them. It sounds crazy, but it definitely could happen. It didn't exist before. Now it just does. And there are other things that have disappeared, right? So there's a lot of truth for people who are very video based to be able to go, I need to have my shorts, but I also need to have my longs. And if you are a long form streamer that, you do 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours, then you have really good meat, really good stuff for a community to come to, probably, I hope, right? There's a reason for being. But where do they go next? Now that you've turned on stream, where do they go next? Do you have a Discord? Do you have a newsletter? Do you have something that is other kind of content? Like, where are they going to go next? And how are you bringing people in? I know somebody who's just started a channel, and they want to do it professionally. That's what they want to do. They want to become a streamer. And I've said about 1 billion times, where are you getting your audience from, right? Where do you pull your, because it's not Twitch, right? It's not Twitch. Twitch, you're not going to get discovered on. They have to scroll to find you. And even the 1 or 2 people that do scroll to find you will not build up your empire. They need to find you elsewhere. So you need to be consistent and posting somewhere that has discoverability. We all know this. It's just true. But what this is about is the long form, right? It's the long form. You have to have long form, valuable stuff that they actually care about, whether that is your long-term comment or your the counseling you do, or the time that you spend in community, that like the amazing Discord you have. What is your long connective tissue that people are grabbing onto, that your short form video is the first step to getting to? Because if you're like, my shorts kind of stay on their own, they're kind of interesting, they don't go anywhere. Or I have Twitch and I build, I really enjoy that, but nobody else comes and finds me. Or I do have people come find me because I have shorts, and I have Twitch and people come and hang out there. But after I'm done and I'm gone, they have no way to hang out with each other. They have no way to go deeper. I have nothing else for them. There's no conversation afterwards. They disappear until next stream. His point, if you want to, for us, is you need to have something that sticks around for a longer period of time and is something they can come back to and go, I want to see more of this. But can they? Like, well, I have my VODs. Yeah, but like if you're live, people want to see it live. The only reason anybody has ever watched my VODs is because I taught something or said something for a long period of time, which was basically like kind of watching a YouTube video. Like, I went to see that because you taught on a subject, not because they wanted to sit and pretend to be part of a live stream, you know? Forge says, so I met this guy IRL, and without even an attempt to get to know me or anything like that, he started sending me a verse every day via text, no additional message or anything like that, and it got annoying, if I'll be honest. Yeah, I have that too. I got people that just send me individual stuff, no context, no nothing. Yeah. And I ended up blocking his number. Now, let me say his intent was good, but it got me thinking. We live in a world full of pointless noise already as it is. Had he messaged me a verse that had some other thing to say, like, hey man, I was thinking of you because XYZ, and here's this verse. Yeah, I've said this a million times. Same with every Discord, okay? What Forge is saying, yes, do not post in Discord a link, ever. Don't post a picture, ever. That doesn't have an explanation as to why you're doing it. It's pointless. People will scroll past it, not care. They don't see what you see. They don't have the value you have. Why are you sharing that link? Why are you sharing that picture? Why are you sharing that topic? Why did you share that meme? What's going on in your heart or in your mind or in your life or in your whatever that connected you to that, to the point where you thought it would connect to others? Just explain it, and all of a sudden you will have deeper relationships and a better Discord. Good gravy. So the point I'm trying to make, like I said, a newsletter just becomes another piece of spam that honestly someone else is just going to delete. Agreed. It needs to have value. So the point, I guess, is doing things with intention. We already live in a world of noise spam. Everyone else's inbox is full of 7,000 junk mail. You try to sift through, be intentional. Yeah, be intentional, valuable. Yeah, exactly. Nicolai says, yes, absolutely. That's a good reason people need to think more deeply about how they share God online. Yeah, because it's the equivalent of like throwing a tract at someone here. That's not going to get anybody saved. And it makes you feel better because you think you're a super Christian for leaving a tract in a bathroom. And the truth is, you may have just hardened a heart, right? Like you might be doing more harm than good. Equally, how many people post share forward their verse of the day, a great sermon or whatever, just without anything? Yeah, don't do that. It's social media. Socialize while doing it, please.
Your follower count doesn't represent your audience size anymore because the For You pages exist where everyone goes viral. An email list is the only true representative of your audience size. An email list is the new status symbol. Nobody can take away an email list from you. So let's piece this all together really quick.
That is so hard to hear. So I have a blog, right? So let me show you the mistakes that I've made, okay? By giving you an example from my blog. Because this is something that I think it is something I'm learning, right? So if you look at my post right here, so what is my website? Me, little introduction, and then if you don't know anything about digital missions, click these buttons. I think that's okay, right? What are you about? Well, click the button, you'll know what I'm about. But look at the what I've been posting, okay? On here. Here's the update for a supporter. Here is the update for supporters. Here is state of things, update. Here's a message about ending my Dragon Roast partnership. Here is, then where'd it go? Yeah, here's my lore talk. Who's that for? It's not for the same people these last 6 were, right? Headed to Florida, that's update, family. Hold on, we're going to keep going because the mistakes continue. This is all the family stuff. Who's that for? Well, that's for supporters. Supporters. Not reach. Why is that on there? Who's that for? They're not going to read that. Tortured for views. The death of Jean Porme. That is a video that I made, or we talked about on stream, all about like a thing that happened. Who's interested in that? Who's that for? Is that for the people that are supporting me? Well, it's not about me. So therefore, all the other things are about me so far. Why would they want to read that? Okay, is it for the content creators? Maybe, maybe it's in their content creators are interested, but is it for Christian content creators, or is it just a piece of news that happened and we talked about? Why did I put it on there? Who is that supposed to give value to? Well, I put it on there because it was current, and I thought maybe it would help with discovery. I think that it has some value for people to read who are into who you know, and I talked about it on stream. But ultimately, it doesn't fit my group. Taco training returns. The people who are following me, supporting me, don't care about taco training, right? They care that it exists. I can tell them about it, but why does it matter to me? So I'm showing you this because, like, it is. This is a mistake that I made, right? This is a mistake that I made where I don't have a consistency. I don't have a value. I don't have a reason for people to come to my website. So if they come to my website and they're like, oh, I want to support Pastor Al. Okay, well, I'm going to go learn about him. And then all of a sudden I send them a message or an email about something else that they don't care about, right? It's like, well, why did you say, now I'm, pardon me. Now when I see their pastoral email, I don't care because it's not for me. That's for someone else. I signed up to learn about him, or vice versa. I signed up for content creator information. Now he's sending me stuff about, you know, his family. I don't care about that. I want to learn more about, you know, it is all over the place. Again, something I have to remedy. I am all about blowing things up and making them disappear. I got to be careful with that too, because I could delete this website now that I've worked on for 15 years and start again. Maybe the future me would be like, oh, that was dumb. But like, I'm sure I can recover it. I hope. But you know, it would just, to me, my instinct is just blow up, start again. Like, I would be a terrible architect because every building that I built, I would go and destroy that building before I built a new one, even if it was in a different city. You happen to read through my assignment one doc, get a chance? The discussions moments from the chapter. No, no, I didn't, because I'm not in charge of the virtual class. And now the virtual class is no longer a virtual class. It's now going to go back to the other one. Again, this is exactly the problem, right? So full disclosure, right? So every time we run the class, it has had, every time we've run the class, it been full in a week. Okay. Every time. We need 8 people for the class, you know, full. And then I go teach the class. I went through a bad year. And you guys know about that. Didn't teach at all. Moved it all into virtual. Okay. Moved it all to virtual. And that was, it was hit or miss, right? The people who got it, but a lot of people didn't do the assignments. A lot of people weren't following through, and it was, you know, it was what it was, right? I think it was a good, you know, start, but not necessarily the best for everybody. And then, so we started again, and I told the board, I'm going to be invested this year. You know, like I'm going to do what I need to do. I'm going to stop making excuses because of my family or because I'm tired or because whatever. And then when we started advertising this thing, I said, okay, I'm going to be more engaged in the Discord. I'm going to make weekly videos for Discord. I'm going to make weekly videos for content creators on my YouTube channel. I'm going to stop streaming on Thursdays so I can do those videos. I'm going to make sure that my content Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is planned and well done. And then I will make it so I get there on Saturdays and I'm able to do the class. And then when like 3 people signed up, I was really discouraged, right? And I'm like, I have so many things. Like I've added projects and I'm trying to focus on Taco and I'm trying to focus on content creators. And I have so many other things to do that taking hours out of my life to teach like 3 people, 4 people, only like traditionally speaking, at least 2 of them aren't going to be there by week 3. They just won't show up. Then I'll be sitting there with like 1 guy, 2 guys, and I'm like, it takes all of my a lot of energy out of me. Like I basically wipe out my Saturday, right? I wipe out my Saturday when I do that, which is usually I put 10 hours in. Now I'm maybe going to be down to 4 if I can pull it off, which means that's going to impact the YouTube videos, which is going to impact the release, which is going to impact discovery, which is going to impact just going to cascade. So I went, it's not worth it. And so I texted Ukulele, and I'm like, I don't think it's worth me doing. I have so many other things that I'm doing that you know, why don't we just switch it to do it at a time that we're already there? So I thought, why don't we do it at the mini-con? You know, like we're doing that once a month. Why don't I just teach it there? And then back and forth and talking about that. And she's like, okay, I'll do the virtual class. And which is covered my butt. And then, you know, get a message that basically said, like, I'm really disappointed that you did that, right? That you canceled it. You shouldn't have done that. And so I'm like, okay, fair. I said I would do something, didn't do it, should. And then I will, you know, I was trying to figure out a way around it to be able to kind of go, okay, how can I fit this in so I don't feel like I'm wasting my time, so I don't feel like I'm taking a bunch of time away from, say, 50 people so I can give it to the 3. And it just ended up being like, you know, like just a lot. And then that's where I'm like, okay, fine. I'll just go back to doing it. You know what I mean? I'll just do the thing I was supposed to do and suck it up. If only 2 people show up, I'll just enjoy having the 2 people in the class. And then, you know, after that, I'll make a decision as to if I'm ever going to do it again. But at that point, you know, like I made the mistake of not doing it. And it's just being all over the place, you know, like not having, still trying to figure out what I'm doing. And it, like, in the meantime, I had that really deep conversation with that guy I was talking about who challenged every part of what I did. And he was right. You're doing this wrong. You're doing this wrong. You need to read this and redo that. And he wasn't wrong. And he knows what he's talking about. And then at the same time, I sat down, like within the next day, I sat down with a church who looked me dead in the eye, and pastor sat there for 2.5 hours at a coffee shop telling me how they can't support what I do, but they also want to support what I do. It was a very strange conversation. We'll help where we can. We'll make it so that you are like one of our ministries that we support on purpose, which is a big deal. That's, you know, huge. But we also don't want to do anything local. We also don't believe we should be online. We also don't believe that social media is a good thing. We also would never want anybody in our church to be trained on how to use social media. We think that's bad. And I'm like, okay, I'll take the little step. Yeah, take the little step of you'll be willing to not tell me I'm, you know, you'll be able to support me personally. Okay. And so I've got you should restructure everything you're doing is wrong. And then the church that I've been putting all my kind of chips into for hope had said, no, what you're doing is wrong. And we're, you know, we think it's cool. We're not going to get in the way. We think you're a cool guy. And then the Taco Con was like, or not Taco Con. And then the all the restructuring and reorg and all the YouTube stuff. And then like only 3 people registered for the class. And I'm like, it's just so much of my psyche what took a blow. And then at home, like I said, it's been really difficult. So like all that stuff's swirling, you know, all that stuff is swirling. And it really hard to settle. Really hard for me to settle. We got to give ourselves some grace. We live and improve daily process. Or, oh no, my power just went out. Oh no, that sucks. Bummer. Hopefully it comes back. Too cold out there. Social media bad is one of the things we have to figure out how to unlock to get our Christian creators more support in the church. Well, that's why I say we got like a little wedge in there. Like how the whole, we're not going to stand in your way. We're going to try to help you get funding. Hey, Lily, we're gonna like that. Okay, cool. Thank you. It's like they're willing to help me, Pastor Al, the guy who's licensed with the denomination, the guy who's been attending the church, the guy who they've had some conversations with. Thank you for the sub. I appreciate it. Like all that, me. But when it comes to the ministry part, they're still not on board. Now, how much trust do I need to build before they're on board? Probably a lot. You know what I mean? Probably a lot. They don't really get it. I tried to help. I wrote all kinds of stuff for them. So, but they have to see. I've said before, the only way that churches ever change is if they see success. That's the only way it happens. They have to see. They're going to say how many salvations, how many members, how much money. That's what they're going to see. Doesn't matter all the rest of the stuff. That's what all they care about. And this sounds really shallow, but they're going to ask the question: is God in it? They're going to say, are people supporting it financially with their time? Are people actually being affected for the kingdom, as in salvations? And how many people are actually committed to it? That's what they're asking, and they're not wrong. So they have to see that. They have to see a success, which is kind of like the only way to get a credit card is to have good credit. The only way to get credit is to have is to use your credit card. Like what? The only way to get a job is to have job experience. And the only way to get job experience is to have a job. What? But we all have to figure that out, right? That's where we're at. We're at the figure it out stage. I need to perform well, demonstrate what it's capable of in such a way that they're able to see it. So they go, hey, wait a minute. God is in that. We do want to help. It's just going to take a more consistency. I thought I'd be closer, but whatever. It is what it is. Hey, Nemu, it's a lot of it. Yeah, things are really difficult right now. But when are they not? When have I sat here and said everything's great? Even if you have a publisher, you need to have a track record. So like I was published with Whip and Sock, my book, like signed publishing deal, the whole 9 yards. But they allow your book to be sold, right? They'll put it on a list. They'll bring it to a thing. Oh, I'm sorry. My bad. Sorry, my bad.
Status symbol. Nobody can take away an email list from you. So let's piece this all together really quick. First is write short form to attract people, because we're talking about newsletters and email lists and having an owned audience, your actual audience. But how do you fuel that thing? You need a traffic source still. You can't just write off social media and expect your newsletter list to grow. It's like those new authors that just think that Amazon, of all things, is going to send a ton of traffic to their books that they post on Amazon. They post something on Amazon and just expect to be millionaires from their books. You have to market yourself. You need an audience of your own nowadays if you're not going the traditional route of having a publisher or a record label.
So that's what I was saying. I've been published with a publishing company, and you still need to have a following, right? They're like, so how big is your following? And because they don't promote you. They put you on their website, they put you in their bookstore, they write you a synopsis and make you a cute little graphic, and then they give you some tools, a little bit of, to be able to market yourself. And then they're like, that's what you get, That's what you get to do. Hey, just me. Thank you. And so even if you go the traditional publisher route, unless you already have a readership, it doesn't matter, right? You absolutely, this is still true, even if you don't. Still true, even if you go with traditional.
Or other thing like that, where it's more a centralized traffic source that you can sign up for as a creative or an independent person and have them give you some form of business because they believe in the product. So short form is your base in today's social media environment. Write about your...
Yeah. So this year, this book, this is the book that I wrote a while back. It actually won an award. It got an award for best Bible study, I think. Best Bible study book. And I thought, oh, that's cool. That should help it sell, or that should help it get around. It didn't. It was cool to have an award, and it was cool to have them, send me stickers. You can put these on your book. But ultimately that didn't help at all. You still need to build a followership, like it or not, the old fashioned way. So this is what he's saying now is how to break down your, how to do this in such a way that it's manageable.
Having a publisher or a record label or other thing like that, where it's more a centralized traffic source that you can sign up for as a creative or an independent person and have them give you some form of business because they believe in the product. So short form is your base in today's social media environment. Write about your opinions, give short, actionable advice, but don't fill in the blanks. Let people ask questions for more engagement. Make polarizing statements that are true from your perspective. Let people filter themselves out if they can't see both sides. So in the simplest of
golly, that was a shotgun effect. I mean, that's a whole other thing. How do you write a really good tweet? It needs to have engagement. It needs to be a strong opinion. Yeah, all that stuff's true. That's not this video, but yeah, it's all very good points.
Pick an idea, any idea, even one from this video if you want to. Write it from your own perspective. Don't worry about the first draft. Edit it, make it attention-grabbing and impactful. Reference others' content structures, not ideas, to enhance your own. If you want a swipe file that we'll be giving out in the Writers Bootcamp, you can find that via a link in the description. It takes...
What's a swipe file? What is it? I've never heard that term before. There's a swipe file. A curated personal collection of high-performing marketing materials, advertisements, copywriting examples, and design inspiration used by marketers and creators to spark ideas for new campaigns. I've never heard of that. I don't know what that is. It helps with writer's block. It lets you figure out what you're going to post. Hey, cool, I guess. Definitely need something like that.
You to Cortex, which is the second brain app for writers and creators. And then last, iterate with feedback based on engagement. The problem people have with short form is that they don't want to be shallow. They don't want to play the short form game. They feel like they're too good for beginners who actually care about the topics, the shallow topics that you're going to write about, because they help them at their level of development. You need to think of all of your content as one unit. Your posts, threads, and newsletters are all one organism. Short form is for attracting a broad and somewhat shallow audience. Medium form, like threads or shorter YouTube videos, is about going a bit deeper and letting the right people choose to join your newsletter, watch your videos, or read your books, guides, or courses. I'm
going to let you hear that again because that is really, really important. And hear it from a Christian content creator perspective, okay? Like when you're like, well, I don't want to be full-time and I don't want to write a newsletter. And I don't want to, but if you are serious and you want to grow and you want to connect to people, I think this is really important. You post your threads and newsletters are all one organism. That is the who's your one. That is the why are you doing this. That is the who is your audience. That is the what are you interested in. That is the what are you passionate about. The talk I gave at Reach, what's your purpose. All that. That's what that is. Boop. You're about one thing, right? Again, a mistake that I've made many times because I'm about a lot of things.
One organism. Short form is for attracting a broad and somewhat shallow.
So shallow, you sound bad, but I think what it means is essentially is an audience that don't stick around. You know what I mean? Like it's the one we're talking about in that comedy video we saw first, where it's the person was like, hey, that person's famous. I don't know who they are. I don't know what their name is. I don't follow them. I don't like their stuff. I just see them a lot. Right? That's where people are at. That's a shallow audience member. They may follow you. They may look, or not follow you, but they may see who you are. They may even like you, think your stuff is cool, but they're not invested at all. Right? Think short attention span. Well, and not only that, but more along the lines of they haven't caught your value yet. Right?
Audience, medium form like threads or shorter YouTube videos is about going a bit deeper and letting the right people choose to join your newsletter, watch your videos, or read your books, guides, or courses.
So medium form, that is, so for me, short form is obviously YouTube Shorts. My medium form is, if you look at my Rethinking Influence series, that's a medium form, right? And then long form is, I think you're sitting in it right now. YouTube Short do far better than full-blown videos. People watch for 30 seconds to decide if they're in or out. 30 seconds? No. People watch for, they give 2 seconds before they'll decide if they're in or out. That's just fact. 2 seconds is how much you have to get. You can have for your hook. And they do better because they are pushed to people, right? Like literally, you don't choose to watch them. They just come to you. You can get, like, I can get 1,000 views on any given short because someone just, it comes to them. They don't go looking for it. They don't search for it. It just shows up. And if the algorithm throws me out there, it happens. And if it's got a half decent hook and whatever, I can get 1,000 views. Doesn't mean it's a good video necessarily, or it's a helpful video. All it means is that, somebody watched it for a little bit. Yeah.
Long form, like newsletters and long videos or podcasts, is for the dedicated fans. They are aligned with your goals and want to learn as much from you as they can.
We can say that from our perspective, that's like Discord, right? That is our stream, right? That is our I guess our newsletter, or whatever other big content you're putting out. So it's the long form for us doesn't necessarily something you have to write, right? But it has to be something that you are engaged in a longer format and is there. You're not going to be evergreen if it's going to be live streaming. Evergreen means something that will people can always go and search for and always go and find, right? It's just always kind of there, and it's high quality. It's good stuff. It represents you well, and it's always there. A live stream isn't like that. It's a different animal. But long form is something that we on stream, I think, do well. It's the other two that I think we're probably missing more.
Now, the second thing, we first write short form to attract people, and then we write medium form to educate people. So in my eyes, the role of medium form content is to display competence. We're talking about threads, we're talking about carousels, we're talking about shorter YouTube videos, and we're also talking about threads on the Instagram app. Threads, those have been doing pretty well for me. And we're talking about LinkedIn posts. What you need to understand here is that my most popular video on this channel on going monk mode and getting ahead of 99% of people, then everyone took that title and now it's just overblown, was exactly from a thread that I wrote about 6 months prior to that. I just read the thread to the camera. And that thread came from a post from a few years ago. How to get ahead of 99% of people was an idea that I posted on Twitter, I think like in 2020 or even 2019. So we'll talk about that little progression in the last section of this video. Threads, carousels, and short videos are great at building authority and trust, giving people enough information to instant follow you, and leading a lot more people to the bottom of your thread where you can promote your newsletter, opt-in, or even product.
I think I'm learning this too, right? Like, so along with you guys, it is all stuff that I've known and I've heard a million times. I'm going to be applying it very differently soon. And I think I'm going to disappoint a bunch of people and make a bunch of people mad while I do it, including myself. But I think the only way to take this advice and go with it, I think it's the only way it's going to work. So threads, carousels, and short videos, right? Like I know what a carousel is. I know like a thread, as in like a single tweet that has a bunch of conversations in it. Carousel is where you take like a bunch of quotes or whatever, and you put them in a series of images. And then the short videos are, what shorts are, right? So they still have to have quality though, right? I think that's one of probably the most frustrating, difficult parts for your average Christian content creator is the quality. right? They're trying to be funny. They're trying to be, to release a video that is, you know, they want to go viral or they think is an interesting moment, but it's not these, right? You're not building trust with it, as in like sharing what they actually will go see on your content or whatever. Like, it doesn't add value to their life. It's not even particularly excellent in its quality. Usually it's, you know, it's cropped wrong, or the actual video quality is low, or they, you know, it goes on for too long. It's not edited well. And then people complain that their shorts don't do well, right? Like shorts require an art form. They're an art form. You have to really work at it. Giving people enough information to instant follow you. I pestered this, like I said, I know somebody who's trying to start a channel, and I was pestering them, saying, so I noticed you put out some content, right? But did any of it point to your channel? Like, well, no, I didn't want to, you know, I didn't want to put it on there. I didn't want to, you know, I'm like, then why did you put it out there? Like, if the reason that you're making this content is so that you can attract people to your channel, then why didn't you put your channel in your content? It doesn't make sense, right? They need to know what the next thing to go to is. Otherwise, like, unless you're just putting on something enjoyable for everybody to enjoy, but if the whole point is discovery, then you have to make it so that they can discover you and know what to do about that. Leading a lot of people to the bottom of your thread where you can promote your newsletter. So it's that is the point, you know. Like, and if you really like this and you've got as far as the comments or whatever, then come and, you know, see my next thing, see my stream, see my whatever project you're on, see my Discord, join, whatever. Yeah, you got to have some excellence to it. You got to have some thought to it. I would think that, like, I think of the average Christian content creator, you know, like Monday to Thursday, or Monday to Friday, whatever your stream, forgive me, that's mine. But like whatever your stream is for the week, or whatever your theme is for the week, or whatever the game you're playing is for the week, if you just go like, that is my content this week, it is that. I'm going to release something that adds value to people with a level of excellence based on the thing that I did this week, that I will purposefully not only make it as good as I can, but I will allow it to be something that will definitely show them how to get back to where I am, right? Get back to my stream. If that was the mission and you were only able to release one short a week, but you did it intentionally, excellently, purposefully, and actually had the next part, like the what happens next, you'd be a lot further off, or further ahead than if you were to dump a bunch of mid-range, half-baked stuff onto shorts. And I can tell you that's true, because my shorts had I had them going 3-4 a week for a long time. They had, you know, they were chosen by some AI that thought they'd be good. They had the captions. They were edited by a person who was like, okay, I'll cut out all the, you know, the extra bits to make it as tight as I possibly can into one singular idea. Like, they were as good as they could be, as dumping them out quickly, and they were they weren't received. Like, they did get a few, you know, a couple thousand or whatever, but they wouldn't get a ton. And then when I actually sat down and edited my shorts, right, I'm like, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to use my editing software and I'm going to think this through and I'm going to put out a short and it's going to have, you know, quality. I made 3-4 times more views because it took time, but I'm only releasing one a week, maybe 2 if I can squeeze it, but 1 a week. It's better. It's just adding the value requires the excellence.
So the thing here is that you can build a high quality audience with threads alone and become very authoritative. But the problem here still remains is that your follower count doesn't matter anymore. You can't guarantee that, 1, you're going to go viral every single day, and 2, that your content will even be seen by the people that follow you. It could be all new people who know nothing about you. So in order to cultivate an audience of people and make sure that they see your stuff time and time again, because that's more important than people just seeing your stuff once and then disappearing and never seeing stuff again. It's extremely important for people to see your content over and over again. That's why you're creating it. So step 3, after writing short form to attract people, medium form to display competence, we're going to write long form to create 1,000 true fans. All of your content should lead people up a hierarchy of trust and value. Posts lead to readers, threads lead to fans, newsletters lead to superfans. And if you're familiar with the 1000 True Fans concept, an engaged email list is all you need to set yourself up for life. Now, I was first introduced to this power after...
Yes, I can attest to you that the reason I'm still here is because of what he would call superfans and what I would call like supporters, right? Like there's a few amount of people that really believe in what I do who help me financially and with the work, right? They came from way ages ago, either because they really appreciated me as pastor of their church, or they appreciated what I was doing early in my career as a content creator, and they thought this guy has something, and so they have invested time and money in me. But it's a very small amount of people compared to the how many people I've seen on on the platform or viewers or whatever. It's a smaller amount of people that are the super fans. But I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them. Taco wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them. I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing if it wasn't for them. And so it does, like, yes, it gets small, right? It's like, oh, I got 10,000 here, and I got, I got 300 views on my YouTube video, and I've only got like 30 people who are my super fans, right? Like you can go 30,000 views on shorts, 300 views on YouTube, 30 super fan followers who are actually investing, and I'm full time. Okay. That is, you don't need a ton. They just need to really appreciate and believe in what you're doing. You don't need a lot. Yeah, that's for sure true. For sure true. I'm gonna take a little break. Let me put up the run an ad, and then I'm gonna hit the pause button. I gotta go fill up my water. I've been talking too much. Give me a second. I'll see you guys soon. I started playing Stardew Valley recently, and at the very beginning, as I stood staring out at an overgrown field before me, I realized this is something I've experienced before, that everyone has experienced before, and not just in-game, but in life. It's that paralyzing silence of asking yourself, okay, what am I supposed to do now? Now, usually in games, you get a direction. In Mario, you just keep running right and the world comes to you. In Elden Ring, you've got trails of golden light. In Genshin Impact, Paimon floats ahead of you and yells condescending instructions. Even in the convoluted mess that is Destiny 2, you choose one of 3 paths, and then you wake up in a junkyard with a little floating robot helper that explains who you are, what you're doing, where to go, and who to shoot. But in Stardew, and in life, you're just left standing in a grown-over field holding some farm tools you barely know how to use, all by yourself. The pressure comes early. Even as a toddler, you're being asked, what do you want to be when you grow up? We go to school, have some experiences, join a sport, meet some friends, make some mistakes, and then this deadline of graduation starts to loom over you. And people want to know, what are you going to do next? Then comes college. People start asking, what job are you going to have? Where are you going to live? Are you going to get married? What about kids? 4 years ago, you weren't allowed to drink, drive, vote, get a tattoo without permission. And now you're supposed to decide how the next 65 years are supposed to play out? That's a lot to ask. And it's no different with content creation. One day you decide you want to be a YouTuber, or an artist, or a streamer. You've got some passion, maybe a little talent, but then you sit in front of your computer and you're like the little guy in Stardew. Road to the east, road to the north, field of stuff, pile of tools. You hit new file in your word processor and stare blankly at a screen with a blinking cursor. You boot up OBS and there's just a big gray box waiting for you to fill it up with how you want to present yourself to the world. What do you do? Where do you start? It's intimidating. And for many, that's as far as they go because it's too much pressure. So I want to help. I've done a lot of work on this. I've taught it as a class, wrote it in a book, spoke at a conference, and shared it with hundreds of people because I believe that if you can answer these questions, if I can get you past that big hurdle, that big blank screen, then you'll be living the... Hello, I'm back. Thank you for your patience. I appreciate it. I was sitting there thinking for just a sec about artists and the idea of long form content, right? If this guy's correct, right, he's talking about like informational type stuff, like how-to videos and marketing experts and things like that. But when it comes to like musicians, it's fairly easy. You want the long form is like the album or your Spotify, follow whatever, things like that. But I'm trying to think of like an artist who draws stuff. Does that mean that you have to have some kind of like a comic, like a long form story, or you have to have some kind of like OC that you're putting in different, like the only way to do this successfully is to have something that people want to follow? Like, I guess when I try to translate this into something for people who draw, what does that mean? And people who don't draw comics, but people who just like draw art. Like, I guess I don't know. Maybe it's a newsletter. Maybe it really is. Like, this is why I wrote this. This is why I drew this. This is what's going on in my life right now. Like for a missionary, right? It's critical that you send back notes that are like, this is what I did today, and this is what's going on, and this is how many people we had at a meeting, because people want to know. Like, people want to know. Yeah, and you only watch your short. Yeah, but do you invest in them? Right? Like the people that you watch their shorts, do you invest in them? Like, have you given them money? Have you given them attention? Did you join their Discord? Did you connect to their community? That's what I'm talking about. Like, to get that level to get the super fans. How do you get a super fan as an artist? I don't know.
I read the book The Invisible Selling Machine by Ryan Deiss. This is one of the few business books that I've actually read because I get most of my business advice from psychology, metaphysics, and philosophy. And now, while I don't use his tactics anymore from the book, it taught me one specific thing. In the book, I don't have it with me, so don't quote me on this or the numbers. But in the first part of the book, he talks about a story where he was just in a very bad place. He wasn't going to make it. He had to come up with a lot of money fast. And so what he did, he went to his computer, he typed up an email, he sent it, and boom. Overnight, he had over $100,000 in his bank account. And so at the time, my naive little mind was like, what? You can just make an email and magically $100,000 appears in your bank account? But then once I actually got into it and understood business more, it's like, no, he has a list full of people that want to buy from him. He creates an offer, he pitches it to them, it's valuable to the audience that he's giving it to. They buy and he cashes out big because he has good rapport with that list and probably doesn't promote too much. So when he does, it's like a flood. And people who haven't experienced this power of a newsletter before don't really care to build one until they actually start building one, and then they realize that power. The problem with all of this is that people that have only worked jobs their entire life, which there's nothing wrong with that. Of course, as always, I have to always mention that I'm not one of the guys that's like, quit your 9-to-5 job. And maybe it sounds like that sometimes, but that's not my actual viewpoint. The thing is if you've been in a job all of your life, you only understand the labor theory of value, where it's like, I do this much work, I get this much in my bank account every week or 2 weeks. It's not asymmetric. It's not actually how the world works. You're not getting paid in accordance with the value that you provide. And once you start doing that, it takes some time for your mind to shift over of like, hey, I can send one email out, and depending on how long I've been doing this, I can make $500,000 to $1 million, depending on what my skill level is and how good the product is. And those are very big numbers. I probably shouldn't have said 500 to $1 million. I can make $10,000 in an email. So let's talk about how to build an audience in 2025. I've talked about these a few times, so this video is best complemented with my other how to build an audience, even if you have 0 followers, or videos like that. Videos in the One Person Business playlist will complement this well, and it will fill in knowledge gaps that you may be missing in this video. Audience building comes down to 6 things. 1 is testing ideas and structures on social media. And when I say structures here, I'm talking about the structure of a post. Go and look on social media, scroll for 10, 20, 30 posts, and notice how things are structured.
Like, I think he means like templates, the way it comes across, how many sentences it is, or how many words, how terse it is, or how whether it uses emotes or whether it doesn't use emotes, like that. Like I think it means literally the structure, like how it's built.
Scroll through my timeline and you can see, okay, there's just blocks of sentences, there's paragraphs, there's line breaks between them, there's long tweets, there's short tweets, there's ones with bullet points, there's threads, there's other things. So you're testing different structures and ideas within those structures. 2 is having a catalyst strategy for new posts. 3 is turning best ideas into threads and newsletters. 4 is repurposing your writing to other platforms. 5 is taking advantage of exponential events. And 6 is sending everyone to your newsletter. These are the only things you need to focus on every morning. When done well, it should take taking advantage of exponential events. And 6 is sending everyone.
Testing ideas and structures on social media. What translating, I would say, how do you best communicate your ideas to the people that you want to communicate with, right? Is it, if it's in art, can you do it in like a day draw? Or if it's in like music, testing ideas, like you have to share your lyrics, you share a story, like what do people respond to? If you're a content creator, streamer, what actually gets people excited or interested about what you present? Like you could be like, well, that a lot of YouTubers I know that, not like personally, but watch in shorts, they will start with an interesting thing happened on stream today, or somebody said something on stream today and it blew my mind, or somebody, I can't believe this happened on stream. And the point of that is to say, if you watch my streams, crazy stuff happens sometimes. You should come by because crazy stuff happens in my stream. And so I would say that, like, for people who come by your stream, what do you want them to come by for? Right? And if it's for community, that's not enough. That's like saying where do you want people to go to? Our room. I want them to go to my house. Why are they at your house? Well, because I want to take care of them. What's wrong with them? What do they need? Well, they're lonely. Oh, cool. What are they interested in? What's going to get them into your house? Like thinking all that stuff through. But like, if your shorts and whatnot reflect what you're doing, and mine don't, and mine do now. They do now, but they haven't always. They've been all over the map, whether it be here's some Christian stuff, here's some pastor stuff, here's some funny stuff, here's some gamer stuff, here's some like some creative funny thing about coffee. Like, it's all over the map. If it was like, well, everything he says is for Christian content creators, to serve them, to connect to them, and if I go to the stream, then I have a place I can go talk about Christian content creation, right? If that's what everybody knew, what's the best way to communicate that, right? Having a catalyst strategy for new posts. It's how do you, in other words, do you have a system in order to make new posts happen? Like, instead of sitting there going, what should I post today? I don't know. Like, actually having like a thing to pull from. Like, I'll show you. If I go to my docs.google.com, and then I go to this here. This is all of my influence scripts, like all in one spot. And it's what I read, and it's what I put together. Because I have this, and if you can use AI, I don't think there's anything wrong with AI. You can literally, I can take all this and kind of go, give me 7 tweets, give me 7, ideas, give me 7 things I can say. I'm struggling right now because I don't actually have anywhere to tweet. I don't. Like, I wrote every word for the Medium. But what I should do is it needs to go into the blog for Christian content creators. It needs to go onto a short form for Christian content creators. And it doesn't. That's why that guy gave me such grief, in the nicest way possible. Very cool guy. It was like, dude, what you're doing doesn't reflect what you said you want to do. Are you dumb? He didn't say that part. I heard that part. He didn't say that part because it doesn't, right? All this stuff is correct, and I'm not following it right now. I'm all over the place. Something that has long bothered me in the Christian content space: performative theatrics, clickbait titles, manufactured drama, sensationalism that some creators use to build a platform. To find it deeply troubling because it raises a fundamental question: are we trying to advance our kingdom or his? I haven't seen performative theatrics other than the people dressing up or being silly, and that's just part of the culture. Clickbait titles, I don't know. Clickbait titles are, unless it's a lie, it's just trying to use the system. Unless you're literally lying, like it's a bait and switch, then clickbait's just the way things work. It's the best way to convince people to come see based on the text. It shouldn't be a lie. Right? Manufactured drama, literally never seen that once in the Christian content creator space. You give me one example of two Christian content creators that had some kind of manufactured drama or sensationalism. Like I have not seen that at all. So I disagree. That's what you said. I want to be careful to make an important distinction, though. There's a real difference between being faithful steward of God's platform had placed on you and chasing growth for personal gain. Right. Yeah. And exactly. That's why I talked about, the difference between them following you or them following what you do. Right. Like people can follow me, like hit the follow button. I'm going to follow XtianNinja, Pastor Al, whatever. Because I want to read his stuff, because his stuff makes me think about God more, makes me a better person, makes me a better content creator, as opposed to I follow him because of him. Yeah. Turning best ideas into threads and newsletters, repurposing your writing on other platforms. Again, I'm bad at this, which is actually one thing the dude said. He said you'll have to stream way less. And man, that cut. I love streaming. I really enjoy hanging out with you guys. I love sitting here playing Stardew with you guys. I love just being silly and play Lego, and I love all that. It's so healing and wonderful to me to be able to do that. But he's like, not if you want to focus on an audience, because the people who are coming for Christian content creation help aren't coming to watch you play Stardew, and it's like that hurt. To the point where it's like, I don't know, man. I think that's going to be, I'm going to compromise on that one, because I use it to make myself available. That's the excuse I'm going to use. Repurposing your writing for other platforms. Like I said, I don't have anywhere short. I don't have shorts right now. I am part of Instagram threads. I have Instagram threads, but like, I don't look at them. I have blue sky, and I don't use it because I don't follow. It's so new. I don't know who to follow. Nobody else I know is on there. It's like I don't use it. Like Instagram is the only other place I'm really putting things on, or YouTube. Right. I kind of decided to invest in YouTube to be able to kind of go, this is where I'm going to put my short stuff. But I don't know. I don't know if I've been able to convert anybody from my Twitch channel to my YouTube channel. I don't know if that's happened, because when I go there and look for any kind of comments or whatever, it does not from anybody who follows me on Twitch. So like, where would they go? Where would they go look for that kind of stuff? I don't know. I don't have a Discord. I don't have a Discord of my own. We use Taco, and I can't, now that Taco's its own thing and I'm no longer a content creator on there. I'm just one of many. I have nowhere to post. So there's like, where do I do this? Where do I put my repurposing? Like, I actually have to figure that out. I don't know.
To your newsletter. These are the only things you need to focus on every morning. When done well, it should take no longer than 1 to 2 hours a day. This can be done part-time. First thing we need to understand is that social media posts are the new MVP.
I don't know. Hold on. I'm not listening to him. I'm looking at Forge right now. I'm going to push back on you pushing back on me for a sec. Your response either shows willful blindness or just not paying attention. Stuff is everywhere in Christian content. Clickbait titles. God told me something shocking about your life, or your pastor's lying to you. I almost left Christianity forever. What God did next will amaze you. I mean, yeah. I disagree with you about clickbait. The God told me something shocking about your life is I think valid. Is it? It's a system. If you say in that content, here's the shocking thing that God told me about your life, that blew my mind, then you're fulfilling the promise of the title. If you are bait and switching, I disagree. Your entire deconstruction content ecosystem, the entire deconstruction content ecosystem, our creators monetize their spiritual crisis in real time. Author was dramatic. I'm leaving the church videos followed by merch drops. I've never seen that. I don't know if it was willful, whatever. I've literally never seen anything you're talking about. It's not willful blindness. It's I'd never seen what you're talking about. We're just not paying attention, I guess. I don't know who's doing all that. But then I don't follow a lot of, if I see that stuff, like if I'd seen that stuff, if someone it would rankle me so hard I would never follow. Also, I'd be like, that's not a Christian content creator. That's someone using Jesus in order to get popular, which means he's not a Christian, which means I'm not going to follow them. So yeah, no, I don't know what you're talking about. I've never seen it. I think we all probably get different things based on what we watch. I've seen some videos. Have you really? Cool. Maybe send them to me. If you see them, there you go. Please send me those videos. Hey, there we go. Send me those videos. I want to see them. Let's destroy my algorithm. Make it all full of miserable Christian people. I want to see them. I want to see them. Maybe I'll react to them. Maybe I'll look at them, on stream and kind of go, this is what I see here. But because it didn't come up and because I've never seen it before, I've got nothing to say. So yeah, send me them. If you see them, send me them. How about that?
Minimum viable product. So if you have an audience longer than 1 to 2 hours a day, again, this can be done part-time. First thing we need to understand is that social media posts are the new MVP, minimum viable product. So if you have an audience, you don't really have to do much market research. You're doing market research every day just by posting content. So social media becomes this testing ground for ideas and angles and hooks. You can take the angles and hooks and pop them into paid ads if you want, and you already know that they're going to do better than most, and you don't have to spend money to test them. So in short, you post on social media, turn your best posts into threads and newsletters, turn your best threads and newsletters into free downloads, turn your free downloads into an information product or service, turn your information product or service into a software, physical product, book, or other scalable business. So what we're doing here is we're testing ideas on social media, distributing those to other platforms. Depending on the ones that do really well, you know that's what your audience wants.
Let's back up, because I think maybe the content creation folks are like that's dumb. I'm never going to do that. I'm not trying to do that. Let's take it from our perspective.
Ads if you want, and you already know that they're going to do better than most, and you don't have to spend money to test them. So in short,
so it's posts on social media. We all know that. We all agree with that. The only way we're going to grow on Twitch or any other platform is through consistent posting. Nobody argues with that.
Or you post on social media, turn your best posts into.
So the posts that connect to people, this is here every time he's like talking about customers and junk, but like think the posts that really connect to people, the video that got a ton of comments, the picture that you took or the thing that you shared, whether it's about you or about whatever, that folks seem to connect to, grab on, use that, right? Like, for example, you could say, I'm going to talk about that in my next live stream. I'm going to, you make that into your next short. You make that into your, some kind of, you expand on it, that kind of thing. The idea is it's a no duh thing that I definitely duh on all the time, which is if something gets traction because people seem to care about it, lean into that. Like I said, one of the problems that I have is because I'm all over the map. Even if something it catches, it doesn't mean anything to anybody because it's not the audience that I'm focusing on, right? So what if the entirety of Nero Sama's fandom liked my video, right? It doesn't matter because Nero Sama's people aren't my target audience. The whole reason I made that video was to talk about a subject for Christian content creators. It just happens to hit them too, right?
The threads and newsletters, turn your best threads.
To your best threads and newsletters into free downloads. That could be like for you, if you have that tweet or whatever, like you can create, and I think Ukulele's done this, right? Here's my Devos, right? She writes a Devo, she like it's a short Devo, she delivers it on her stream, right? And it probably expands on it and probably has some music connected to it and has some discussion on it, right? Which makes it a bit longer. And then she takes those Devos and she can put them out as content, free downloads for people to go to to go and download, right? So that's more evergreen content based on stuff that people actually connected to. You don't necessarily have to do it with everyone, right? Every single Devo or every single whatever, but you can say this one really connected. I'm gonna polish that one up and put it on my whatever thing, you know, if people can see it. Or I said something really interesting and chat lit up. Maybe I should lean into that and figure out what people said there. I think that is the lesson we can learn for this for us.
Threads and newsletters into free downloads. Turn your free downloads into an information product.
So if you have a, like, say you are doing Devos ukulele, right? Now she does this for a year. Now she's got, I don't know, let's say she's got 52. Maybe once a week she did a really good Devo. She got 52, even if it's only 40, right? Even if it's only 30, right? She take that and turn it into a Devo book. Boom, there it is, right? Yeah, there you go. And or for that matter, if it's you're like, well, I just do streams and I play games and I got a community. Well, when you talked about that as a community, it popped off, right? Then you took that and you're like, okay, I'm going to use that for more content, for shorts and for a YouTube video, or for my next stream or whatever. Then I'm going to talk, you know, instead of information, product, or service. In other words, maybe I should have a channel about that in my Discord. Maybe I should have we should, you know, maybe we get a pastor to come and talk about that subject. Maybe we should get an expert to come in, or maybe we should go watch some videos on that topic, or maybe we should, you know, bring that into a discussion area. Maybe do a small group thing on it. Like that connected to people. Let's lean into that is the lesson here, right? Is the lesson here.
Or service. Turn your information product or service into a software, physical product, book, or other scalable business.
That's the same thing, right? Turn it into a small group, or turn it into a channel, turn it into a something consistent, right? That's in your community now. Like, for example, weight loss. You never talked about weight loss before. All of a sudden you're talking about food all the time. It's a whole thing. So you start to you're like, okay, well, I'll talk about that a little bit, and we'll talk about that on stream a little bit, and maybe I'll put a short talking about that. And now we're gonna have a channel, and it's gonna be about food. It's really taken off. People really appreciate that. But it's not just about food. It's about, you know, the community is talking about things that they're struggling with and things that they're making. They're trying to help each other. All right, cool. Let's see if I can lean into that for the sake of the community, because some people are interested in it, right? Which is a lot better than, I wonder what people care about. I'm going to do a poll and then have 7 people tell you, you know, evenly distributed across, that don't tell you nothing.
So what we're doing here is we're testing ideas on social media, distributing those to other platforms. Depending on the ones that do really well, you know that's what your audience wants. So you turn that into a free download and an information product for cash flow, because it costs like $0 to do that. We're going to talk about information and education products in the next video, I believe, and the importance of them, because most people don't understand that education is arguably the most important product that you can sell, not only for human behavior change and the value that you can provide for someone else, because education determines how you see the world and everything you can do in your life, but it's also extremely high profit margins. It's profitable. The economy favors the profitable, so they're only going to become more and more of a thing. And then once you have that cash flow and you have a validated idea in the form of an information product, you can turn that information product, the basis of it, like I have with 2 Hour Writer, into Cortex. You can do that because you have the money to do so. You're not taking out loans or getting VC money for a startup anymore. You're doing this. Now, the second thing you need is an idea catalyst, because while social media is different right now, not all of your posts are going to go viral, and there's still such a thing as beginner hell. You have to get over a certain hump of followers, and you need a way to test whether your ideas are good or not. So there's a few ways to do this. We're going to first start with the most controversial, which is pay to play. And I want to frame it this way. Ads allow you to pay a platform like Facebook or Google to show your posts to more of their audience, but ads aren't the only way to reach a larger audience. In fact, I'd rather not pay the platform for it, like Facebook or Google. I'd rather pay an individual with whom I want to build a relationship and who has a highly engaged audience already. Almost anyone who has a social media audience also has a service where they help you grow, or they advertise spots to get in front of that audience. Being shared on social media by a larger account and paying them for that is on par with paid ads and paid sponsorships.
I don't know how that applies to us, right? Because what he's talking about, like, you know, you have a product, you go find a social media influencer and you pay them to push your product. If we're talking about, you know, our community or whatever, we could talk about collabs, you know, but like grabbing a bigger content creator, especially like a huge one. You can't just walk up and say, hey, push my Discord. Can you tell everybody my channel exists? That's not cool. I don't know how to apply this one. I think there probably is some kind of application, like the idea of you're not gonna be able to grow on your own. You're gonna need other people to help. I don't know.
When you pay a podcast for a sponsorship spot, you're paying them to get in front of their audience.
Okay, that makes sense. You could pay for people to go and check out your stuff from a podcast. Just kind of pay by ad. You could do that theoretically, I guess. Or being on someone's podcast, doing or writing for other. Yeah. So I've got a movie. The local radio station is making a movie about me, and they're putting it out on their socials, right? And so therefore, that theoretically will be seen by people, hopefully by a bunch of people that are in CHRI, who will hopefully want to come and check out, what I do. Maybe. Well, it remains to be seen. Who knows? But at the very least, it's there's 1 million people in Ottawa, and they have a good, a lot of people listen to CHRI, which means, how many of those are translated to the YouTube channel, and how many of those will be translated over to, checking out me. Even if it's 5, it came from somewhere else, I guess. That's a good thing.
The same thing goes with a newsletter sponsorship. This is just like, hey, I'm going to pay you and you share my post. And I'm not even asking them to buy anything. I'm just wanting to see if my content does well and I can attract some followers from that. The best way to do this in my eyes is to just DM accounts that have over 20,000-ish followers and ask if they can help you with growth or if they offer some kind of promotion. The thing with big brands and going after large accounts with this is that, one, most of them just don't have the time to check their DMs. They have multiple different platforms. They have businesses to run. They're not going to spend 8 to 12 hours a day managing 300 DMs across different platforms. And they charge a lot because audiences are extremely valuable. I know people that actually charge $10,000 for 10 shares on social media right now. So even if you grow on social media and aren't able to sell a product or service, you have an audience that's as valuable as anything. Now, if you don't want to invest in growth, 1, that's fine. But 2, I'd question whether you're serious about building your life's work. You'll spend $40 on a nice, pleasurable dinner, but you won't spend that much on business traffic that could make you 10x more if you have a product and understand the concept of ROI. A lot of social media right now.
Let's watch that again.
Even if you grow on social media and aren't able to sell a product or service, you have an audience that's as valuable as anything. Now, if you don't want to invest in growth, 1, that's fine. But 2, I'd question whether you're serious.
So I've said this. So we've said this many times in class. We've said it many times on the channel. If you don't want to be a Christian content creator that, is serious about building community or reaching people or getting an audience or being intentional, it's fine. I don't care. It's fine. Enjoy your time, have a stream. But recognize you can't have it both ways. You can't say, I want to build a community. I'm on here on purpose. I think God wants me to stream or YouTube or whatever. But I'm also not going to invest time or energy or money into it, right? That's just not how that works. Let me think. You don't have to spend a bunch of money. And we talked about that before. Like you can use whatever you have, but he's correct. The second thing he says here
is about building your life's work. You'll spend $40 on a nice, pleasurable dinner, but you won't spend that much on business traffic that could make you 10x more if you have a product and understand the concept of
return on investment. So if you ate dinner out or whatever, like say whatever you spend on pleasurable thing for a month, if you won't like upgrade your mic, but you're going to go do all that other stuff, or if you you'll play a bunch of video games offline, but then when you're streaming, you're not putting 1/10 of that effort into improving your content, improving your hardware, improving your experience, going through your analytics. Like just be honest with yourself. Say, I don't want to grow, so I'm not doing the things to grow. But don't say, God put me here. God wants me here. God has a job for me. God wants me to build a community online, and then not actually do any work, right? That, just be honest with yourself. Be like, I don't want to, and I'm not gonna. But if you're stuck in that hole, God told me to do this, but I don't know why I'm not growing. I'm not putting a bunch of energy and effort into it because I'm not growing. It's not. It's just be honest with yourself. People need to be honest about what they're doing. If you are doing it for fun, just stemming Christian on it, it's not a ministry mission. That's okay. And that's perfectly valid. It's fine. Just be honest with yourself.
ROI. A lot of people don't see the value in this, or they scream that it's inauthentic and you should just grow organically, which you can. That's perfectly fine. But if you have a product or service and you get a lot of traffic to that by paying for an audience like you would for paid ads, and you get an ROI from it, then not only do you keep part of the audience because they follow you and go into your newsletter. That doesn't really happen with paid ads that much unless you're smart. But you're also generating traffic to your product or service and probably making money. And no, I don't agree with the people who think investing money in your business growth in a smart way and not fueling these corporate platforms with paid ads money. I'd rather go straight to the individual and help them out, and they help me out. Now, most of you don't care about this, but if you're in the social media space and people that talk about it on social media, people are in two different camps. It's like, oh, I grew without paid retweets or this and that. And it's like, good job. That's actually really good. That's awesome. But to write it off as a strategy that doesn't work or something that isn't extremely valuable is just.
I think for Christian content creators, what you should hear is, because he sounds exactly like Papa T. No, it definitely does. I've been thinking the same thing the whole time. Is this a real Christian content creator would never buy ads, would never pay for professional art, would never try to goose analytics in order to worry about all their posts and descriptions and hashtags and stuff. The real Christian artist, just a Christian content creator, would just leave it in the hands of God, and if he wants them to grow, it'd be fine. But same argument here. But don't write off that. And if you grow that way, great. But if you, hey, Abyssal Bolt, thanks for being here. Oh, thanks for coming by. But don't write off that is a potential way to do things, right? Like if someone's really serious about it and they go and they court magazines, like, I'm a Christian content creator. Hi, I'd like to, if you want to write an article, here's an article, or, come and see me or whatever. Like, they're actually marketing themselves. It's not wrong. It's not evil. It's not bad, right? It is hard. It is a weird place to be, right? Like marketing yourself, but at the same time trying to do it humbly, trying to do it with a servant heart, but at the same time trying to play the game. Like, it is a very weird place to be spiritually, mentally, emotionally. And you got to reconcile all that yourself. Where's your line? Where how far are you going to go? At what point do you feel like you're selling out, or at what point, are you being cool? It's probably going to be different for everybody. But I would say that it is not more holy or better if you're like, I will never advertise, I will never do anything, I will never show my face, I will never improve. God has to grow it. That's not better than, I'm going to do my best, I'm going to invest some money, I'm going to invest some time, I'm going to try to get some attention and get some ads on here. That's not wrong. It's not evil. It's not bad, right? In fact, chances are the people that like the books that you bought, Christian books you bought, the Christian authors you read, the Christian stuff that you has helped you, you probably saw in an ad, right? You probably saw it in an ad somewhere, and you were like, oh, that's cool, and it helped you. It's not evil. It's not wrong.
Stupid. And if you are supposed to be this person that teaches audience building and social media, and you're writing off one of the things that's actually going to accelerate growth the most, you're pretty dumb. And if they don't work for you, it's because you don't know what you're doing. Now, I haven't done this in 3 years, and I actually try to stay away from teaching it because I don't do it currently. But when I was just starting out and getting 9 to 5 was the bane of my existence, and I hated freelancing and wanted to get out of it as soon as possible, you bet that I'm going to do everything in my power to do that. And only good things have come from that. I'm only here because of it. But the thing here is you don't need to do that. So the second option is just building a tribe. You should do this either way, whether you decide to pay or not. And it's not like you have to pay a ton to begin with. I'm going to stop talking about this topic. If you're smart, you'll make it work. So what you do here is people will think of this as like an engagement group or an engagement pod. That's not what it is at all. This isn't something that you're just tossed into and expected to like work with people that you don't care about. You're trying to inject yourself into a social media tribe. So you find accounts.
Which got it because I don't really attend a church. You're in a very, in this space, Abyssal Bowl, that is very common, right? A lot of Christian content creators I know are church hurt and don't attend. A lot of people who are online and really kind of live in the social media space are spiritually curious and want to know more about God, et cetera, but they don't, it's kind of freaking them out to even go to a church, that kind of stuff. So that's literally why a lot of Christian content creators exist, to build that gap. So happy to help in any way I can with whatever that journey is. But yeah, thanks for admitting that. It's really, you're in good company.
Around your size, add them to a list or bookmark their profiles and reply to their content every day. Then eventually,
don't skip that.
Group or an engagement pod. That's not what it is at all. This isn't something that you're just tossed into and expected to like work with people that you don't care about. You're trying to inject yourself into a social media tribe. So you find accounts around your size, add them to a list or bookmark their profiles and reply to their content every day.
Okay. So this is, once again, the dude I was talking to gave me this exact conviction where he says, so you want to serve Christian content creators, right? Yep. You have to be in Christian content creator streams every day. A lot. I'm like, I try to be, but I work, I wake up and I go to work and I lurk in a stream, but I don't listen because I can't write and do all the stuff that I'm doing with someone's chirping in my ear. I can't do it. My brain doesn't work that way. And then I jump on stream and then I do all the stream stuff. And then afterwards I do more stream stuff. And so my head is, if I'm editing a video, I can't have a stream on. If I'm writing, I can't listen to a stream, and then it's 6 o'clock and I'm supposed to go be dad, be husband and father. And maybe that sounds like a cop out, but it is a struggle that I have because I know if I'm trying to serve Christian content creators, I need to be in their content every day. I need to go and say hello every day. And the issue for me is that I don't know when to do that. I really struggle with it. And so it's, do I pull a day out? I don't know where I need more days. Right? Because like Friday, I have meetings and I work on projects that I couldn't work the rest of the day. Saturday, I edit the video, post the video, and do all the jazz. Right? Like there's just nothing left unless I take Sundays, in which case I'm not going to do that. I don't know where to put that. It is actually, I agree, it's very convicting. I just don't know what to do. Take breaks in your writing. Can you during those breaks drop in and say hello, spend 5 minutes, and then hit them with a lurk and mute? I probably could. That's probably a good thing. The answer is no, I don't. But I should. I sit down and then I will stay here for 7 hours straight and I will not do anything else. I won't eat, won't anything, just blah, but I'm not saying they're healthy. But the answer is no, I don't. But I should. But you're right, I should. Maybe like every hour. That wouldn't be a bad idea. Every hour, have the thing go on, go find a streamer that's on, go say hello. Right? Yeah, that's what I'm saying, right? Yeah, exactly. You know what? That's not a bad idea. Not a bad idea at all.
Then eventually you take the conversation from the replies to the DM. So you're starting conversations in the replies. You're giving your own insights and your own stories and your own anecdotes for the posts that they write.
So you're adding value is what he's saying. You're not posting, come see my channel, come watch me. You should see my newsletter. Here's a link to my blog. You are adding value to that content creator. When you are in their stream, when you're in their chat, when you're in the comment section, you're in their Discord, you're not thinking, how can I steal this community? You're thinking, how can I add value to this content creator to make them look good? Okay. That's the thought. I want this when I've been in streams, and you can ask any stream I've been in, I see my mission as to help that person get a laugh, to make a point, to give them some discussion fodder, to do something that adds value to their stream, something memorable, something interesting. I don't self-promote. I try to do my best to be interesting or funny or to answer a question or something, because I'm trying to add value so that people think, hey, when I go to that stream, cool thing happened. I want to serve those content creators. Do that when you walk into their chat. Do that when you're in their comments. How can you add value? If you are trying, always think about yourself, then you are not serving others. You are trying to use them, and that's bad.
Just regurgitating what they say. You're not just replying with, oh, great post or this or that. You're starting an actual conversation. And if you aren't naturally skilled or extroverted in talking to other people, then this is also a time where you should probably research social dynamics and how to hold conversations. You're just doing it online. And then once you're in the DMs and you're having the conversation, you just ask them if they're doing anything to grow, like what strategies they're doing. It's like, hey, dude, I'm trying to grow just the same as you. Have you come across anything interesting that's actually helped you? And then if they have, they're probably going to share it with you because you're a friend. Or then that's when you can position yourself to be like, hey, do you want to like share my post? Like if I send you a thread, you can send me one back.
So for us small content creators, hey, I was on your stream. Hey, that's really cool. I'm adding value. I get to know you. I joined your Discord. I came, said hello, and blah, blah, blah. Send a DM. Hey, how you doing? You know, I really liked what you did yesterday. It was really cool. And then a couple weeks later, you're like, hey, by the way, is there any of the, you know, I'm also a content creator and I'm trying to do some stuff. Have you questioned? And then, you know, once you build that relationship and you've demonstrated that you are about serving them, not about serving yourself, only then will you have the chips to be able to say, hey, you want to do a collab? Hey, would you mind sharing my my event with your community? Only then. Don't try to do that right away. That's why everybody on social media, everybody on Twitch is offended by the dinguses who come into their stream and drop a link or say, hey, I'm an artist, right? It's not, we have no problem with artists. We have no problem paying artists for their work. We have no problem trying to find some random artist so that we can get a thing because we all want to, you know, do something cool. Our issue is that you are showing up without any relationship or trust built whatsoever. We know you want to use us. You don't care about us. You don't care about our community. You don't care about our content. You don't care about anything. You care about you and you want to use us to help you. We as content creators who are trying to grow or whatever, you can't have that mindset when it comes into someone else's chat. Hi, I'm a streamer. Hi, I'm going live. Hi, I'm, you know, like, hey, you know, I'm going to be talking about that today too. That kind of stuff, right? Like until you have proven yourself, you don't have permission to do that.
And then we'll both share it. How does that sound? And then once you do this with 4, 5, 6 people, then you have this group where when you want to test an idea, you just send it to them, they share it, and then 1, it has more potential to go viral. 2, you generate more traffic, you generate more followers, and the more consistent you are with that, you realize you have these levers that you can pull for audience growth.
So that is a tribe of content creators. It's something I don't really have very well. Yeah, hey, go watch my stream is very frowned upon. Yeah. Right, that's your 2, 3, 4 content creators that you can talk about content with. I don't have that. I'll be honest with you. I don't really have anybody who I do that with. I kind of wish I did, but it's not. So I'm not good at making friends. That's part of it. I just don't have. You know, I tend to sit here in a vacuum and just kind of put things out. I do wish I had a cohort like that, but I haven't done what he's said in order to cultivate one. You know what I mean? I haven't, you know, gone in and said, hey, you know, I have Christian content creator. I have Christian content creator pastor guys that are leaders of orgs that I meet with regularly as like a support group, but I have not bothered to try to talk to them about content. Right, I could talk to them about life, but I haven't really been like, hey, I'm doing an event. Hey, what are you doing? You know, whatever. I try to figure that out on my own because I don't want to. Well, it's hard to trust people, and at the same time, it's like I don't want to be that guy. Like, can I eat all your ideas for dinner, please? Just it's weird. I don't know. I have not, and I also insanely high standards when it comes to someone like that. Like, I don't want a group I have to teach. I want a group that'll teach me. So it needs to be people who have been doing it longer than me, doing it better than me, right?
Now, the third way you can do this, and remember that we're creating an idea catalyst here. We're trying to find a way to get our posts in front of other audiences. So there's a way to pay to do that. There's building a tribe to get in front of your audience's tribe. And then there's another way to exchange value, which isn't in the form of money. So if you have a large audience on Instagram and I have one on Twitter, then you can reach out and be like, hey, I'll share you on Instagram if you share me on Twitter, and then you're good to go there. Or if you have a service or a product or something that you can offer people, like if you want to reach out to a larger account and be like, hey, I will create I'll create a landing page for you, or I'll write an email for you if you give me 5 to 10 retweets or shares on whatever platform you're doing this on. So you can get creative as you want with this, because social capital and trading goods is just as viable as trading money for these things. So
I think a lot of Christian content creators would be totally up for that. I've never done it, but I know that if somebody texted me, and we do it, like, look right here, right? That thing at the top right corner, no, I not mine. It's everybody else's, right? It's just other people's stuff. I'm more than happy to promote other people's stuff. I really don't care. I believe very strongly. Like, I believe very strongly that the best way for a Christian content creator to grow is to serve others. I think that should be your baseline. But like, I would have no problem if someone's like, hey, can you tweet that? Hey, can you put that on a video? Can you say something? You know, like, I would have no problem with that. I think a lot of people would have no problem being asked that. And ukulele is where I was about to say, I think a lot of them would have a hard time asking for it, right? It's only good when there's already a relationship or offer on the table, right? But like, you and I have known each other for a long time, and like, have you, other than taco stuff, have you ever asked me to talk about a ukulele only thing on my stream? Right? It's just like, it should be natural. I would, like, we're friends. I like what you do. We share a community. It would make sense that I would be promoting your individual ukulele for worship stuff, right? I should. It's like a no-brainer. Like, every third Thursday, like, you should be in my chat being like, and this is what I'm doing tonight, and I would be totally fine with that, right? I have no problem with that, but that's what I'm saying. I think all of us would listen well and be happy to help. I think the hard part is asking. So I wonder how that would work. You obviously need to have the relationship. It needs to be the right person. It can't be some Yahoo who just walks over to, I don't know, Susie and being like, hey, can you say things about my channel? Like, you know, that's not going to work. You have to have a relationship. But like, yeah, I don't know. Is it a matter of maybe Christian content creators need to get a little bit, you know, more confidence in asking for that kind of stuff, right? Is it coming up third Thursday? Well, there you go. See? Go ahead. Put your announcement up. I don't know how many people are actually here.
Step 1 and 2, you have these short posts that you're posting and testing, and then you have a way of catalyzing those ideas so you can see which ones do the best. Now, step 3 is to turn your best posts into newsletters. So when one post stands out as an anomaly, like you see, okay, these posts have this certain level of engagement, okay, this one has more, these ones have the same, you take that and you turn it into more content. If you want to write a newsletter using this, I would use the BPAS framework. We've talked about the PAS framework in my 4 frameworks for writing follow-worthy social media content video, but the BPAS is big idea, problem, amplify, solution. So starting with a big idea so you can get to the point faster. So it's big ideas.
This is the meatiest video I've ever seen in my life. This guy is giving the whole enchilada and a side of fries. Like that, this is a big, important video. Like, I've decided to cancel the class and you guys just go watch his stuff. Infinitely better. Golly. But his point of, use the stuff that's working for sure.
State the idea in the post. Problem, illustrate a relatable problem based on the big idea. Amplify, give examples of how that problem impacts people's lives. And solution, give steps, lessons, and insights that help.
It's funny because that's how you structure a sermon too, right? So big idea, hey, this is the thing we're going to be talking about today. Problem, here's how it's messed up in the world. Amplify, what does the Bible say? What does history say? What does the church fathers say? Solution, here's how to apply that to your life. Like, that's literally a sermon, right? And that's just how you communicate something helpful. Interesting.
Help solve the problem. So that's a short and sweet way to write a newsletter. What I would do is just one sentence, big idea, a few sentences, problem, a few sentences, amplify the problem and how it impacts someone's life. That's the intro. And then you have a headline that states whatever it is that you're talking about. And then you go into step-by-step solution. So you add step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, however many, and then you fill in the context within those. So you have subheadlines of step 1, step 2, step 3, and then you have paragraphs within those that give context and teach people how to actually do it.
So you have to actually believe in what you're saying, though. I think one of the things that a person could get confused with is I'm going to do this and I'm going to, like, if it's viral, I'm going to have to make stuff up, or I'm going to throw it into AI and be like, give me 5 steps that I can put onto, XYZ. They can't be that. It has to come from the heart. It has to be steps that you've done. It has to be somewhere you've gone before. It has to be something you've learned, something you've experienced. Or you have to be quoting somebody that you've read and things that you tried to apply. Like it can't come out of nowhere that you're like, here are 3 things that ChatGPT told me that you're supposed to do because I needed something to put into a newsletter. It has to come from the heart. Otherwise, you're going to be inauthentic, and people are going to pick up on that very quickly.
That's how you write a newsletter. Of course, pick a topic. Well, you're turning your best social post into that newsletter. Now, step 4, and this one is extremely important, is take advantage of exponential events, because audience growth is non-linear. You flatline and make a little bit of progress here and there, or when you're growing on social media, you usually flatline and make a little bit of progress for an extended period of time, and then something works and you see a bunch of viral growth all at once. So there are a select few posts on Twitter that did really well for me, maybe like 1 out of 10 or maybe 1 out of 20, that would bring in a lot more followers and engagement than usual. And once I have those, I can start to repurpose those and incorporate them more so I can grow consistently. The other thing with YouTube is that my growth was pretty slow until I had one video do extremely well, which was the Justin Welsh podcast on the one-person business. And so I started talking about the one-person business more videos started to do well, started to go viral. All of those viewers flooded into other videos because they were recommended to them. All of my videos saw this exponential jump, and I gained 200, 300, 400,000 followers in a relatively short amount of time. And the same thing happened with my Instagram growth, where there were...
But there's 2 lessons to take away from that. One is the grind. This isn't going to happen all the time. You need to do the other 30 posts before you can get the one viral one. It's not going to happen. And the grind of, like, you're going to have to post a bunch of videos people may not be watching before you get the one that takes off. So that it's not automatic, and it can't be just the one video. You're going to have to get through it, grind away. And then 2
times where I kind of just fell into a trend because I was experimenting. If you don't
it's only going to happen. You can't plan for it, right? It's going to happen in fits and starts. It almost makes no sense. There's no rhyme or reason to going viral. None of it makes sense. If you could figure out how to go viral, every company would be doing it all the time, but they can't.
Experiment, you're never going to find out what works. So I was experimenting with carousels, and they seemed to do really well. And then I had my tribe share individual posts from those carousels to their stories, and they shared different carousels on different days. So it's like I send them the post, they share.
I do. It's funny you ask that. These days, no. But this traditionally has been a variety channel where I played a different game every day. And then, I'd get into like a main game, and then I do indie games and weird games, and like I'm all over the map. It just happens to be that I started Stardew Valley, and I'm really, really enjoying it. So I'm gonna keep playing it until it gets boring or something better comes along. Like I just finished Expedition 33, and then we did another couple indies in between. Like if you actually go look at the Twitch tracker, go to twitchtracker.com, punch in my username, you'll see I played crap ton of games.
They're the first post of the carousel one day, and then 2 days later I send a middle post of the carousel. They send that, and it would almost guarantee that it always ended up on the explore page, and that got me up to 200 something thousand followers. And then when I started doing the animated reels, the first few of those, the first like 10, did extremely well. Then I went to 1.2 million followers in like the course of 1 or 2 months. So social media growth is kind of like you're growing very slowly or not at all.
What does he mean by animated? I wonder what he meant by animated shorts. Oh, yeah. Yeah, variety is way more fun. Like on Thursday, my plan is to build Lego. So that's until I completely destroy my channel, which might be coming or might not. I don't know. This whole video and everything I've been talking about is really confusing. I'm still working through some stuff. We'll see.
And then you see that big jump, and then that repeats until you take what works and you start to integrate that into your brand. And so those things come up more, and you start to slowly sustain growth. You hit this baseline level of followers that you gain every single month. And then if you continue experimenting, this is why if you are the niche, this isn't, I mean, if you choose a niche and you aren't the niche and you go too narrow, this isn't going to happen to you, or at least it's very less likely that it will. Now, step 5 here is to send everyone to your newsletter. Put it in your YouTube descriptions, plug it on Twitter once a day, plug it if you cross post your tweets to different platforms. Just go through for 15 minutes every morning and promote your newsletter, whether it's a backlog version or not. This is what I've taught in 2-Hour Writer for the longest time. But you're sending everyone to your newsletter. That's just where you're sending people every single day so that you have one central place for the people that actually want to hear from you. So that
would be Discord, I would think, right? For your average person who's doing this, I think the answer is, or the parallel, I should say, is that you would be sending them to your Discord or wherever you're collecting your collector pages, right? It's your Discord, it's your Instagram, it's the place that you actually go. You know what I mean? Like where do you want people to end up? And if you want them to end up in your newsletter, then that. If you want to end up on your Discord, then that. If you want them to end up on your like wherever they're going to gather, that you get the most interaction, the most connection. So it's not Instagram. That would actually be a good one. But like wherever that thing is, like could be your I don't know, DeviantArt page, your Patreon, or your coffee, like all that, like whatever that is, wherever they go. Just make sure it's in all your stuff, I think is the point. But she's not wrong, for sure. Again, something I'm bad at. I'm very inconsistent when it comes to that stuff because I've spread myself too far too thin. You know what I mean? Too far too thin. Okay. Found him from school project, and I need more Christian material in my life. I do like games as well. No, dude, off topic is on topic around here. We on Tuesdays we talk about Christian content creator stuff, like really hardcore into it, and but it's always an AMA. If you look at every single title, it always says always an AMA because wherever you're at, I want to make sure that I am here to help you with whatever it is, even if it interrupts. If it's completely just nonsensical or whatever, I'll probably skip it. But yeah, no problem. Yeah, glad you're here. Why am I itchy? I couldn't have got a mosquito bite. It's the winter. Okay, so that was it. There's a lot to chew on. I still have a lot that I'm going to be chewing on myself. But I can't make any decisions yet. But I do know that there's going to be some things and I'm going to have to make some plans. Don't know what. The biggest plan is going to be stuff to get rid of. I don't know what to do, and I can't tell you right now what that is. Okay, so that's it. If you guys have something you want to talk about, now's a chance. Otherwise, we're going to jump into Stardew for 45 minutes or so. Not going to get very far because 45 minutes in Stardew is not a lot of time, but at least it's we could have a little bit of fun. But the most important thing is to answer your questions. So, like Abyssal, if you have questions, by all means do. If any of the content creators have anything you want to say, by all means do. Now's a good time. But other than that, I'm going to start leaning towards the Stardew. Happy to be interrupted, though. Stardew's not as important as hanging out with you guys. Doodly doodly doo. Nope, that's Discord. Speaking of Discord, that's crazy, hey? I don't know if you guys are following along, but like Discord said they want to protect the children. We need to get your biometric data and your government ID. Don't worry, we won't save it. It'll only stay on your machine. Then they're like, well, actually, we're gonna upload it. Some people, it might get uploaded, could happen to this other place that actually keeps your data and uses it. And like, it's just, they have crapped the bed so hard with this initiative of theirs that I don't know if they're going to be able to recover. Like, if they ask me for biometric data and they ask me for my ID, I have to say no, because it's well, that's the thing. I don't know if they're even going to ask me because I don't have any adult content. Like, so I don't know what that would, yeah, I'm just saying, man. It's just, I can't believe how bad they're doing when it comes to how they're marketing this change. They don't even, like, they're releasing these things that are arguing with each other that that are making them look bad. Not even other people. They're saying it about themselves, to themselves. Crazy, man.
I started playing Stardew Valley recently, and at the very beginning, as I stood staring out at an overgrown...
Whoops, sorry. You're gonna see a few changes because I have been playing in between. The reason I didn't release a video on Saturday is because I was doing this. Because I was depressed as flip. You like my room? It's trash. This is my moldy couch. This is all my clothes on the floor. This is my broken TV. Build my pop over here. All that because I got this. I checked the garbage so many times. They gave me a garbage store. It's so funny. I get to be trailer trash. See? Trailer trash. I even have my plastic chair, my tire to put my feet up on, bottle of hooch. Classy. I'm classy. So I don't even have to water my plants anymore because they water themselves. Hooray. The only thing I gotta water is my cat. And we're gonna go straight to the mines because, yes, of course we are. How many food? Wow, I gotta get rid of some stuff. I didn't realize that my pockets were full. You can't go to the mines with full pockets. Looks like my room. Okay, so no, we're gonna keep, okay, what are we gonna get rid of? Rock, fish, seaweed, fish, sea jelly. I can eat that? Neat. Sardine, red millet. Okay, this, and then that, and then that, and then that. I'm gonna keep the Nautilus shell. I don't know what that does, but I got 2 of them. They're very expensive. Maybe I should sell it. No, I'll sell it. Prehistoric hand axe. I think I need to give that to the museum. So we'll just hang on to that. Oh, I have an obsidian base. Forgot about that. Go put my obsidian base somewhere. Where's it supposed to go? It's very fancy. Maybe we should go over here. There. Does it do anything? No. My stream is... Oh, is it? Okay, I'm sorry. I know how to fix that. Sorry. Subblocker! Okay, to the mines. I long for the mines. I'm gonna put some food in my pocket here. Because I get down there and then it's kind of a little scary now. Because it's actually pretty awful. Oh, check out this though. I have a trash thingy. I have a little machine now that if I give it trash, like actual garbage, it converts it into not garbage. Isn't that fun? Oh, just because I had the display capture and the game capture on at the same time. It was my own mistake because it's silly. There's some games that the game capture works, and not only works, it's the only thing that works. And there's some that the display capture works fine. So I just usually keep it on display capture because I don't see any reason to otherwise, you know? Oh, no worries, fucker. It's all good. I don't even remember what I said. All I know is that we're going deep. The music changes pretty substantially when I go in here. Level 105. Not so cheery now, is it? Our objective is just to go down. We're not trying to get crazy, we just want to go down. Although if there's a diamond here, I'll take it. The time-consuming part is trying to find this stupid ladder. It's an interesting, there it is. Interesting mechanic that you have to find the ladder. Nice, like that green thing, gross. Like a mining snot. Creepy noises are not helping my state of mind. Oh, I should go over there a little bit. Just a bit to see what's going on. Nothing's going on. Okay, good. Cool. I'm very small. I'm gonna make myself a little bigger for you guys. I apologize. Scale 150. Yeah, that's way more interesting to watch. Ow! I don't know why I'm blinking, but it probably isn't good. I was blinking green, never good. Woo! What's up, Rushmore? How you doing, man? Good to see you. I should go down. The object is to get down. We're trying to get down. As much as we can, as fast as we can. How's things? Oh, there we go. Wow, that's doing well. Cool. I mean, I'm sure there's lots of things that I should be picking up in these realms, but like, I just want to get to the basement because I get an achievement if I get farther down. Oh, I hit it. Scary. Scary monsters are scary. You gotta make scary noises, game. What's up with that? How's Rushmore? What are you up to, dude? I got a shadow dagger. Is that good? Is that a good thing? 10 to 20. 2 times crit chance. Barf. Don't need it. I have a sword that kicks butt. I'm being way too curious because there's scary noises. I want to know what's up here. That's where I die? Because I was curious? Please don't make me die. There. That was better. I swear I hear people talking. Not nice. Heck. Why is it so big? I found the ladder, but I'm like, I want to check things out, but it's huge. Yeah, that goes around. I'm gonna go up. Yeah, totally not creepy at all. Yeah, this is Stardew. It's called it's a cozy game, don't you know? All right, all right. I'm gonna go find that ladder again, because 110. Give me something cool. Space boots. Am I gonna go to space? What do space boots do? I want space boots. +4 defense, +4 immunity. I'll take those. Nice. My pockets are getting a little full. What should I get rid of? Probably this wood. Okay, let's keep going. Only 4 p.m. Lots to do. I need a better pickaxe. I shouldn't be hitting these with 2 hits. They should be a 1-hit thing. Die. Nope. Oh, yeah. You know what? I'm gonna leave you there. I don't need to fight you. You're stuck. You can blame the RNG. My kingdom for a ladder. I found something on my land, and it was from my grandfather, who apparently, even though he died, he's apparently coming back in year 3. I don't know what that means, but he's like, look for my coming on the 3rd year. Like, literally, Gandalf style. I don't know how, but I'm only in year 1, and I have a lot of game to play before I even get close to that. Nice. That worked out. Ooh, a creepy skeleton in the wall. That's so creepy. The walls are made of skulls. I'm just gonna take a quick peek. Getting greedy and dumb. All right. We'll just leave. I don't know how deep this thing goes. I bet it's 150. If I had to guess, I bet I have to go 150 deep. Oh, there we go. Nice. It behooves me to break all these. I haven't found a mimic yet, and I'm a little worried that I'm gonna find a mimic. Would it not surprise you? Or would it? It wouldn't surprise me. That's what I was trying to say. I got some serious knockback. Yes! Mystery box. However, I have too many things. What should I get rid of? I got coal for days. I can get rid of this coal. I could just eat. That's another option. There. I'm set. Hello, the true Elliot. How are you today? Formerly known as Uptown Dog, I believe. Okay, let's go that way. There's stuff to break. I'm a little nervous there are things trapped in the walls. Like, that is not a nice way to go. There it is. Nice. We're making tracks now. See, we just hit 15. Hooray. I will have to get back home soon. I don't think I'm going to make it past this one. Let's... Oh, that was close. Ow. Oh, you curve? You throw curveballs? I made the slime angry. I have died in the mines before. It's kind of bad. You die in the mines, and the old guy that lives in the tent, he comes and fetches you because he just happened to be down in the 100th, you know, 115th level. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna make 120. Not if I can't find a ladder. Here it is. They only let you save every 5. Like it's just the way it works. But you still get cool stuff. Actually, I gotta go. I just realized I have to walk all the way home. I had a teleporter, but I don't have one now. I have to literally walk all the way home. So sad. I wonder what that was. What did I get? An ancient seed. Ooh, fun. I can grow an ancient something. I like how my little guy starts being like, hey, can we go to bed? Nice. I'll come get that tomorrow. If it's still there. Fancy frozen carrot. Who doesn't love frozen carrots, you know? Not having to water my plants is such a gift. See, it turned into rocks. I gave it garbage, it gave me rocks. It's only fair. What can I get rid of? Yep. Kind of don't want to get rid of anything. Get rid of the quartz, I suppose. Get rid of the crab. I'm not going to eat the crab. Get rid of the crocus? I just found it lying around. Yeah. All right. Cool. And then put things away. We'll put things away later. Actually, I don't know how to sell my clothes. This is something I need from a Stardew person. Because I've got, like, a bunch of clothes, like, and weapons that it won't let me sell. But I don't know what to do with them. Like, I just got all this stuff. Alright, pet my cat. Go to sleep. Love it. Transmute gold. Can I transmute gold into something better? Or can I transmute something into gold? Let's find out. Cock-a-doodle-doo. That's not cock-a-doodle-doo. What can I do? Transmute iron bars into gold. Lame. I mean, whatever. It's fine. Not a bad thing. Cool. I'm gonna go to the museum. When I first started in the winter here, I went across the road and then I saw what looked like a black Yeti. And it didn't, I don't know what to do with it or about it, but all of a sudden there it was, you know? There's another thing going on too. Like if I go this way and I go into the tunnel, I didn't know I could do this either, but you go into the tunnel, on the wall here is a thing that you can put a battery in. The only way to make a battery is if there's a thunderstorm and it hits a lightning rod. I have a lightning rod, but I don't know if there are thunderstorms in the winter. There are, like IRL. We've had a thunder snow. I don't know if anybody ever had thunder snow, but we've had thunder snow. But every once in a while, you gotta go looking around for things to dig. Yep, nothing. We'll go to the beach and then we'll come up. We'll talk to the blacksmith. We'll see if we can break some of these geodes, and then we're gonna go hit the museum to see if we can donate anything. Because once I donate 60 things to the museum, I will be allowed to get a key, apparently, which will let me get into the sewer. Why do I want into the sewers? I don't know. Why wouldn't I? You get exploding trees, yeah. Isn't that wild? That's crazy. Just when you think like you understand weather, all of a sudden like, oh no, trees explode now because of weather. Like, when did that start? Oh, it's been a thing. Like, when was it a thing? You tell me when exploding trees were a thing. And you didn't make that up. You're gonna tell your kids, right? You'd be like, oh, I remember one winter when all the trees exploded because it was cold. And they're gonna look at you like you're a crazy old man. Sure, Grandpa. All the trees exploded. That's how cold it was. Mm-hmm. Now go have a nap. Have you taken your meds today? You sound a little crazy. I also got to deliver something purple to my girl. She deserves it. All right. Process some geodes for me, buddy. Yeah, this one first. Rocks! Lame. Mystery box. Seeds. Lame. This is the good stuff right here. Let's go. A purple something. Gold. Lame. Dirt. Cool. Come on. More dirt. Silver. Wow, that was a dismal. That gotcha game was terrible. Donate. What can I donate? This fancy rock. Where does it go? I guess the only place it can go is right here. Yep. Seems like it. I tried to make it make sense. See the lumps of rock over here, and then there's like jewels over here. I don't know. I tried to make it make a little bit more sense. I did organize it. I gotta have close to 60 things right now. Come on. How many more do I need? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49. I need 11 more things. And if I only get one every trip, that is a lot of things. A lot of trips. Hannah's here to recommend Stardew mods to make your no way. No way. I know how that goes. Look how close I am to getting Abigail to marry me or date me. I need one more heart and she'll date me. And then I get to buy flowers from her father in hopes that I will be able to woo her into dating. She likes me. We had a moment. We went and played some music together. It was lovely. There she is. I have a purple for you, my dear. What? I put too many gifts for Abigail. Lame. How you doing? One thing I've learned living here, everyone stares at you if you look different. You don't look different, you look purple. And I think you're lovely. Okay. I guess we can go back to the mines. I don't know. Oh, no, that's wrong. Wait, is it? I can't remember. I never come up to the park. Like, I should be going in here and getting bonus stuff. But I just never do because I'm too busy selling all the stuff. The only way to get them happy is to give them produce. And I'd be like too busy selling it. How many mods before my computer? I have seen so many things about how they're no longer doing like the RAM crisis and whatnot. Like it's gonna be a wonder if anybody has PCs, you know, ever again. After like will Gen Alpha or whatever the newest one coming up even have PCs, or will they have finally figured out that, you know, we're just gonna cloud base everything so we own everyone? That would be terrible. Down to 115. Let's go. We can make it to 120. Yeah, you actually quiz you. That's true. They're actually having to figure out game optimization because people don't have. They can't just go get a 40 whatever ish thing. What's that? What is that? I'm full? Oh no. I realized oof. Well, I guess we'll get rid of the seeds. Crap, I came here unprepared. Or too prepared? One of the two. Yeah, I had to throw things in the garbage. That's okay. What am I picking up? I gotta get rid of things. Coal, just one lump of coal. There we go. Do we, I do want to get a 47 or better to play Starfield Genesis mod. So they, did you hear that, yeah, well, not just renting PC, you're gonna be playing on the cloud. They will give you a monitor and enough juice to be able to get onto the cloud. That's it. And then they will do all the processing so they can own all the things and all your access and all the software and all of everything. But yeah, truly, for the first time in ever, Nvidia is not releasing a video card this year. There's not enough sand in the world, I guess. Quality of life, bigger backpack mod. Yeah, I'd imagine, but still, I've learned in Minecraft that if I don't have limitations, then the bad things, you know, then I don't enjoy the game. I need the limitation. Dang it. They get too easy and then I quit. I've already used Cloud PC when I had a MacBook. I agree. I think everybody would want their own PC, honestly. But I also, for the first time, I played, what did I play? The new Harry Potter game. I played that on a cloud, and that was kind of fun. Made life a little, I didn't want to buy it, you know? Interesting, interesting. Found, there we go. 19. Wow. They're making it really easy. They're just giving me ladders. Why is that a thing now? Die, balloon boy. Oh wow, that's going really far down. That's crazy. 119. Bring the sword out just in case. I got hit and it hurt. All right, should we dig our way in there? Oh, I shouldn't eat the mushroom? Make me sick? Oh, that's no good. Yeah, you're stuck, buddy. Neener, neener. I'm not letting you out. Although I bet the ladder's behind you. Yeah, probably. Fine, I'll stab him. That's what you want. Oh, that guy was rough. Oh, and he didn't even have access to the... Dang it. Where's the ladder? I want out. There it is. 120! Ooh, snakes! Great! That's so exciting! You can get a 5080 Super if it actually releases. Oh, I got a skeleton key. You're not sure what it's for, but it seems important. It's been added to your wallet. Thanks. Bubbles is here for snuggles. That's nice. 5080 Super. Yeah, it'd be expensive. Not only expensive, right? Like, but like, will it do? Like, am I done? Is that it? There's no more. There's no ladders. There's no nothing. Wow. Okay, we did it. We got to the bottom. That was the mission. Leave the mine. I don't have anything I can break this with. Wait, I can. Let's go. Hello. Don't eat me. Oi xlu uxat su pygos do hatu haksu olai? I mean, on Thursdays, but only if I have the money. I'm gonna eat this purple flower. Where's my wallet? That's what I want to know. Oh, there it is. Skull key. I take it the skull key is not for this. Oh, he likes bug guts. Bug guts, I bet. I think that's his thing. If I give him a bug guts, he might like it. Let's go and kill some bugs. Maybe down to 10. I honestly don't know. But I'm wildly over-prepared for these. There's the bugs. Okay. Let's see if it works. We'll do one. Crap. Okay. Let's go give him bug guts. I seem to recall reading that in the library. Okay. I have something for you. You want this? You did not want that. Okay. Well, thought I read that somewhere. I guess I won't be talking to you then. Can I fix this thing now? Still broken. Bummer. Okay, well, got all excited. What else does he want? Maybe I gotta go learn how to speak dwarf. Is that a thing? Can I learn how to speak dwarf? Take a class? I have been reading what the library says. Yes, you can. That's what I thought. I've been paying attention. Either dwarf scroll 1, 2, and 3. I got 3 of them for what it's worth. I don't have any coal. Oh yeah, I gave away all my coal. All right, bugs. Pumpkins. I don't know what else to give away. This and then dirt and then probably squid ink. That's probably an ingredient in something. Get at my rocks. Got my jade. Need some rubies. I don't know what to give you. Sure. That's probably fine. I'll pet. Oh, I didn't feed my cat. Hold on. It's going to be mad at me. If you don't do it, he will legitimately avoid you and he'll get all like, you get rude. The cat gets rude. He's very needy. There you go. I know it's too late and it'll go away and you didn't get any, but it counted. So there. There's a 4. Okay. All right. All right, well, it is time to end stream. That is a good place to end. We got pretty far now. We got to the bottom of the mine. Like, what else do you want out of life other than, you know? That's it. We got to the bottom of the mine. We're happy. I'm sure there's much to do. There is much to do. No question. Because I don't speak dwarf yet. So clearly that's a thing. We're going to raid out. Thank you for being here, guys. I had a family day yesterday, and today was Tuesday. I think we had a really good talk. I think a lot of content creators, if they would follow that advice, Christian content creators, and adapt it, I think we could really change the world. So hopefully it was helpful to some folks. We're gonna raid out, head off to somebody. I don't know. Is anybody playing Stardew? It'd be nice if someone was playing Stardew. Let's raid Nobody Hunter. He's playing Minecraft. That's adjacent. It's adjacent. All right, have a good day, says Sarybot. But yes, I hope you guys have a good day. I'll be chatting with you guys again tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel. And yeah, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for coming by. Tomorrow's Weird Wednesday, so we're gonna be looking at weird pictures, and we're gonna see what else is going on. I'm probably gonna keep working on the old Stardew. But on Thursday, we'll push pause on Stardew, and we're gonna make some Lego because I got so much Lego I gotta build. All right,